Everybody talks about the weather, and here's some proof of that old adage.
Scientists say the La Nina weather phenomenon that increases Atlantic hurricane activity and worsens western drought is gone after 3 troublesome years. La Nina is a natural and temporary cooling of parts of the Pacific Ocean that changes weather worldwide. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said that the globe is now in what's considered a neutral condition and probably trending to an El Nino in late summer or fall. And that's good news for the United States. Experts say La Nina is connected to more Atlantic storms and deeper droughts and wildfires in the West, making a La Nina often more damaging and expensive than the more famous El Nino. Keith Peters reporting.
The Israeli military says a Palestinian man who entered a West Bank settlement armed with knives and explosive devices shot and killed by an Israeli settler. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Looks like Chinese President Xi Jinping plans to stick around for a while.
The ceremonial National People's Congress awarded Xi his third 5-year term with a vote of 2,952 to 0. The outcome was a foregone conclusion for a leader who has sidelined potential challengers and filled the top ranks of the Communist Party with his supporters since taking power in 2012. In October, Xi broke with tradition and had himself named to a third 5-year term as party leader. The presidency had a 2-term limit, but that was deleted from the Chinese constitution earlier. All of it seen as an indication Xi Jinping plans to stay in power for life. I'm Ben Thomas.
A patient and 3 crew members survived last night's medical transport helicopter crash in North Carolina. The copter was heading for a hospital in Asheville when it went down in Macon County. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday. Welcome to it. We made it. Friday, a little cloudy, but still nice out.
It makes for an interesting looking sunrise. It's like, you know how they have, the magic hours, that like last hour before sunset? Mm-hmm. We got a little magic hour going on right now.
Feels like it wants to rain.
The lighting outside is just kind of like just so.
Yeah. Yeah, I get the feeling it wants to rain, but
maybe.
It never actually does. Doesn't matter. It's Friday.
We stand upon the precipice of another weekend.
There you go.
A busy one.
Yeah?
A short one.
Yes. Well, technically, yes. 1 hour shorter. Because we do move our clocks forward tomorrow. So remember, tomorrow night. Or technically
2 a.m. Sunday morning.
Yeah, 0200 Sunday.
Well, you could do what I do. Just do it like 8 p.m. on like Saturday night.
I like to try to do that. Sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
But usually around that time, I'm thinking of like, all right, in my head it's 9 o'clock. In my head it's 9 o'clock. Let's just go ahead and move the clocks now, and then
we don't lose the hour of sleep.
Yeah, if I do that, it does help.
You lose the hour of hanging out, so you lose part of your Saturday night.
Yeah. Of course, anytime after 9:30, usually Kim's about ready to go to bed, so I'm just, all right, let me check out the next episode of whatever, Mandalorian or whatever's I'm into at the particular moment.
Oh, that's right, Mando's out again, huh?
I believe the second episode comes out this weekend or today or whatever.
Probably. I think it's either today. I think it's today.
Yeah.
I have to check it out. I haven't.
Sorry, I have a sneeze.
I have to try to find one. Bless you. This is a good one.
Yeah, I think the second one's out. I haven't watched either one yet because I like to have a little
cushion.
Like I like to build up a few episodes on that one. Since they're only 30-minute episodes, I definitely I got to have at least a 2 before I'm even going to consider looking at it.
You know what show I figured out? I can just put on any random episode of and just enjoy most of it, if not all of it. Bob's Burgers. It's one of those shows where it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you have to do housework or whatever, you just turn it on. And every now and again, when you catch something on the screen, chances are within about 5 seconds of you looking at the screen, you're going to hear a joke. It's a
I've never really watched Bob's Burgers.
It's a great show. Yeah. I mean, even if you're not a fan of the animation or even the style, the way it's quick paced and kind of that improv style of, because the way they record the lines, Lauren Bashard is a friggin' genius when it comes to directing. He has everybody in the same room recording their lines. So they're interacting back and forth. The actors are interacting with each other.
It's like a table read.
Kind of, yeah. Okay. But that's how they do the record. So, when they do the animation, they actually animate off of the record.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I've never gotten into it. Just haven't. I'm not gonna lie. I've caught a minute of it before something else come on or something, and the characters' voices drive me nuts.
And that's one of the things that takes some getting used to. Once you get used to it, it's sort of like one of the most endearing things about the show.
Yeah. It's everything's graded it's even the females are
most of the female characters are voiced by dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it.
Yeah. Like Dan Mintz voices Tina, and he just uses his normal voice, which is funny because Dan Mintz is also a stand-up comedian. And he talks like that on stage when he does stand-up. So when you listen, on Sirius or whatever, it just sounds like Tina from Bob's Burgers doing adult stand-up.
It's so Shakespearean.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I better get my interview going. I had kind of a long one today. We're going to replay a couple interviews this hour next. We'll have we had the folks Tom Reed and Rhiannon Alley join us from UFO Expo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, of course, today, tomorrow, and Sunday out at the Convention and Civic Center. So we're going to play that interview this hour. But it is a little long, so I better get it going.
Yep.
In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay our interview we had on Tuesday with Robert Sherman from Walker Aviation Museum. Got an update from him. Of course, we talk a little history every time we chit-chat with Robert, so we did that as well.
Can you please call him the Sherbinator next time he's in?
I don't know if he'd get it.
He wouldn't. He would not. But it would be one of those things that just to preserve it for video, posterity.
Bunch of '90s kids would love that. Mm-hmm. I saw. You know how they do those, where are they now articles on social media, and it's celebrities that aren't celebrities anymore.
Right.
I saw one saying the Sherbinator was a Applebee's waiter somewhere.
Really?
I guess California. I don't know. Yeah.
Poor fellow.
That's what that article. Now, granted, I don't know how old that was or how accurate that was, but that's what it said.
That's worth looking into.
And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Tracy Fry with the Roswell Public Library will join us, give us an update on events and things coming up at the Roswell Public Library. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. If you like warm temperatures, then you're going to be loving this forecast.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit of morning cloud cover, and then we get sunshine this afternoon as low pressure moves to our north. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 40s. Very warm on Saturday and also very windy. Our afternoon highs in the mid 80s, wind gusting to 35 miles an hour. And then for Sunday, sunny and upper 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 46 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 79%. Winds currently out of the south at 12 miles per hour. We expect mostly cloudy skies this morning, then gradually becoming sunny. High of 76 today with winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're going to increase 15 to 20 this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 48 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Saturday, we do have a fire weather watch that will kick in at 10 a.m. and remain in effect through 6 p.m. on Saturday. Mostly sunny for the day with a high of 84, so we'll be in the 80s. Winds will be blowing out of the west, 5 to 15 early, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 76 degrees, west winds 10 to 20. And then Monday, sunny skies, 68 for a high when you head back to work and school on Monday. And then mid-70s Tuesday, back into the 80s by Wednesday of next week. All right, 7:13, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Tom Reed and Rhiannon Alley from UFO Expo. That's up next.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water-diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating two companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 17 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from UFO Expo, Tom Reed with us, and Rhiannon Alley as well. Good morning, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Anytime. Thanks for coming down. Welcome to Roswell.
Well, thank you, man.
I'm sure you've been to Roswell before.
Yeah,
you guys are UFO experts. You know,
I'm a newbie.
Is this your first time to Roswell?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No,
what do you think so far?
I love it.
Good deal. Do you have any New Mexico experience before coming to Roswell?
Absolutely not.
So you've been learning a lot about red and green probably over the last several days here.
Red and green,
yeah,
as
that's
in chilies?
Yes. Yeah, that's the official state question, red or green. So
I'm very familiar with the peppers by now because we arrived on Sunday.
So you've been sampling some of the red and green? Do you have a preference or?
The green.
Red.
Hot.
Red for you?
Yep.
Yeah, and then you can go Christmas. If you can't decide, just tell them Christmas, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Add them both.
I'm going to write that down.
Just tell them if they say red or green, say Christmas, and they know exactly what
Christmas
you mean.
We're going to do that.
in March.
Yeah, and it means red and green.
And 106 told us to say that. Yeah.
But you are guys here of course, we want to invite everyone out. If you haven't got your tickets yet, you can still we've been giving away some tickets. I might have a few more to give away before now and tomorrow, so be listening. But coming up tomorrow through Sunday at the Roswell Convention Center is UFO Expo.
Right.
Think of this as kind of a UFO, like the UFO festival, but
different,
focusing mostly on the UFO, the educational side. Kind of like when you go, when we have UFO Expo in July, you kind of got the museum doing the science and the factual historical side of it, and then we got everyone else with their full hats and all that stuff. But this is the expo's a little bit. I mean, it's a lot of the research and that, but some of the fun with the cosplay.
It's more fun, actually. Yeah, we're trying to incorporate like 3 or 4 different things under one roof.
Yeah.
So we want people to get bored, right? And we want to add something different. We were asked to bring something new and fresh.
Yeah.
And so we were asked to be here. So,
yeah. So you come to town and you've got you're going to have a slew of experts.
Yeah.
Eyewitness accounts,
bands,
people that have experienced like I know one of the folks on the list, Travis Walton, who I've interviewed couple times. Just it's Roswell.
Yeah, of course.
The legend.
And he's a fascinating story and a fascinating man to listen to.
Very good friend of mine.
And of course, I didn't know who he was I knew who he was because I watched Fire in the Sky years ago.
Yeah, who did?
Like I saw the movie back in was the 90s when it came out, I think. And with James Gardner and D.B. Sweeney, I believe, plays actually Travis.
Yeah.
James Gardner plays the sheriff.
Yeah.
And the guy that's in I can't remember his name, but he's in Terminator 2. He's one of the buddies.
Played Michael.
Yeah. He's some of the big names from that movie. But anyway, I saw that movie, and so it was kind of a treat for me years later to talk to him and interview him. And then I actually watched his documentary that he has talking about the incident. And the one that blows me away, the factoid that blows me away out of his story, is there's a lot, but at the end, if you go to that crash site in Arizona in the mountains,
I've been there
today. And you look at that place, the trees
the
are
rings.
smaller. The growth is different.
Faster.
It's not that whatever radiation or whatever.
There's a connection to that in my family too. I was actually there when we were looking at that with Ben Hansen and Travis Walton and I think Don Schmidt was there as well.
Okay.
And we were there when they first saw it and took note of it. And so it's kind of interesting because our case had some similarities. We had the corn grows 15 to 17 feet tall. There's a lot of weird things that happen.
Wow.
Crap circles.
So yes, for folks know you have experiences.
Oh my
yourself
God, we have the very first case in United States history to be deemed historically true.
Gotcha.
And
one that they can document or.
Yeah, well, there was an attorney that worked with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in researching or mining for source documents back to 1967, 69 in the Berkshires.
Okay.
And the lawyer actually came to the research center here in Roswell and did a lot of the mining here. And that information was forwarded to Massachusetts.
Oh, cool.
And they actually used that in their determination whether or not our case could be deemed historically true in itself.
Gotcha.
And because we were surrounded by manufacturing facilities that worked with the government, the space race, and the goodwill message that was left on the moon, those guys knew my parents. And so they would eat in our diner, and it was a secret space program, so people couldn't talk about it openly. So our diner became that little hub. And then it was brought before the United Nations on October 2nd, 1992. And the same day, my father died on the anniversary of that date.
Oh, okay.
And he was a politician and an attorney. So that's when everyone started to look at this thing with a microscope and contacted the Roswell, research library, and then the Record wrote about it. So that's kind of our connection to Roswell. So then we were asked to be part of it. We're like,
heck yeah.
Heck yeah, exactly.
So I'm kind of curious, but by the fact that your father was an attorney and a politician, did that get his foot in the door? Where it would, you know what I mean? Like if some average person came on the street and said they saw an alien,
well, that's just it.
Or saw a UFO,
right?
They're like, oh, all right, dude, let's get you some coffee. Let's sit down.
Take
you know
it
what
easy.
I mean? But
medic.
But when a respected lawyer or politician comes in and says it, then people are like, all right, maybe.
Well, the thing was, it actually went over the radio back then. It was archived on the radio, and there were articles in the paper that came out about it. But it didn't get the press like Betty and Barney Hill or even Travis Walton or anything because it was a smaller community.
Sure.
And because of the space race, people couldn't talk about it.
Sure. There was so much government cover up with
and everybody was
Cold
filtering
War
money
and
in
everything
there.
else.
They could lose their jobs if they thought that they were sharing information, right? So it was hushed. And then, I don't know, I'd say when my father passed on the anniversary of it being mentioned in support of Cash and Landerman and the Hudson River Valley sightings, then because, like you had mentioned earlier, to circle back to your point, that because he was political and knew people. I mean, I went to the governor's mansion for coffee. I had to stay in the kitchen when my father schmoozed in the living room, but I was still welcome there.
Sure.
And Christopher Dodd, the senator, was a friend of my father's.
Okay. Were you a child at this point, or were you an adult?
No, I was 10.
So you got to
almost 10.
So you got to probably hear and see, because a lot of times, the kids in the room kind of thing.
God.
Well, you probably got to be the fly on the wall for a lot of cool
And the cool
conversations.
thing about it was when I was really young, we had a jukebox. So being in the country, if you wanted to listen to rock and roll, right? This is a rock station, right? Or talk radio, whatever. We're all And so you would come into our diner and throw a quarter in a jukebox and hang out, and you'd be surprised because there was locals, right? Like there was this mix, this dynamic, because you had those farmers that were kind of, no, there's no way this is happening. And then you had the more astute coming in that were hired, to work for these manufacturing facilities.
Sure.
Capacitors, whatever it was that they were manufacturing for the space race. And they'd sit in there, so they're articulate, and these guys are dropping F-bombs, and these guys are talking, and next thing you know, there were fights that broke out in our diner. So there were police reports to document the friction about the UFO case in our diner. So there were actually, I wouldn't say police reports, but statements.
Sure.
And so when you compile
testimony,
so when you compile all this, you're like, these people were the people who manufactured or forged the medallion, the goodwill message that was left on the moon 6 weeks after this incident. You're like, or before it actually, you're like, depending on how you look at it, the incident came 6 weeks before the medallion was
it
left
feels
on the
awful
moon.
coincidental, doesn't it?
Yeah, but people are all looking up. They know this is happening. They know that we're going to the moon, and it was a holiday. It was Labor Day. And so you have all these people that were outside at barbecues and that sort of thing, and they're all like people they wouldn't normally hang or associate with. And so it wasn't like this family said this or these people said that. You're looking at 20 or 30 people in a 4-H horse show, for instance, that all said they saw it. People at a country club. And so with that, I really support Roswell because I know these things are for real.
Sure.
And for Roswell to support me is like an honor.
Sure.
There's a really cool kinship there because my father would be honored today to know that Roswell had our back.
Sure.
And because of what he was actually advocating this incident at the UN.
Sure.
And so the city or the town, if you will, kind of wanted to pay something forward to him. And then, here we are 7 years later talking to you in Roswell about us bringing an event here.
Well, I would even argue that because, you look at the news nowadays and like your story happened before they put these things out. And now here we are 20 years later.
Yeah.
They're actually, you see the government now saying, hey, here's
disclosure.
Yeah, we're disclosing some things that the military have seen or so. So it's kind of jiving with what you're saying. It's like, look, they've been knowing about this stuff for years.
Oh my God.
And we're now getting to a point where they're saying, all right, here's some of the stuff we're seeing. It's been some time has passed.
Right.
People are dead now. We can show you some of the stuff that we've been seeing or what been reporting to us. And you look at the Roswell incident and kind of the consensus when you talk to a lot of people. It varies and things, but a lot of people, because of the nuke testing that was going on, Alamogordo area and all that, that's what kind of drew the eye of aliens and things coming here saying, what the heck are these people up to? They're seeing mushroom clouds and they're thinking, what's going on over here?
Something is.
And so that's what a lot of people say, the logic or the motive was for why they were here. And it very much lines up with something plausible. And I've always been, I've never seen aliens. But I've always been of the mindset that it's very narrow thinking to think of all the planets, the galaxy, the immense size of what this is, and we're the only intelligent life out there?
Yeah, after 5 global extinctions, we still have over 8 million animals.
How narrow-minded is that thinking?
Yeah. Think about that, too, like to your point.
Yeah.
5 global extinctions, was that about right?
Yeah.
And so here we are with 8 million species, right? It's like like Earth is our galaxy's arc.
Sure.
Right.
Right? They're coming from somewhere. But they just pop up out of nowhere.
Sure.
Right? We're finding new species all the time.
Sure.
So,
that's just it. There's so much we don't know, and until we do, but that's what's great. So, and that's what I think people love about coming out to UFO Expo, because you get to hear your story plus Travis's and plus a bunch of other people, and when you have that many people in one room that all have unique experiences, but there's a
camaraderie,
and also some similarities. Like I'm sure your story, Travis's story. There's different stories, but at the same time, there's a lot of common things that put the stories together to say, all right, why are all the same people, different experiences, but seeing some of the same stuff, you know? Kind of, like the argument between greens and grays and all that that kind of
red
thing.
Chili, green chili.
Yeah. the Christmas experience.
Yeah. But
extraterrestrials.
But it's kind of like, the UFOologists and things are like, the grays and what eyewitness reports say these are gray, not little green. I know little green men's fun to say and sells great T-shirts and all that, but by almost to a person that have experienced their own individual things, they kind of go back to seeing the gray men, which I get it. There's too much coincidence for me to just not take at least understand something's going
There's
on.
a lot of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But what's nice is that it's now starting to be household topics.
Exactly. People are buying
It's
into
no
it.
longer hush hush. It's no longer, oh, if I'm going to talk about an alien or a UFO, people are going to think you're whacked.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that anymore. I mean, we run into people all the time, just the average Joe, and they're like, oh, I had an experience or I saw something in the sky. And now it's becoming more of a huge global community.
Sure.
Global.
Right. When it used to
Of
be a
the
little
topics.
message in my mailbox, now they actually knock on the door.
So, so for you guys, and you know what, Rihanna, I didn't really get a chance to kind of to have people explain your story too. You were talking about you're a newbie here to Roswell, but kind of how? All right, tell us how'd you get sucked in?
Okay, how did I get sucked into the mothership? No, I was actually living in Israel for 8 years, and I was the ambassador for the foreign community for a couple years, and I ended up connecting with him in Florida
Through a mutual friend.
about 3 years ago
Yeah,
to a mutual friend,
Yeah.
and we just hit it off right away. And the first time we met, he's like, "Would you help me with my UFO Expo as the event director?" And I said, "Absolutely. Let's get the show on the road." So we ended up making a huge conference down in Palm Coast, Florida.
Okay.
Then Roswell came in and invited us to partner with them, invited us to come up here. So we thought, what are we going to do here? We already have an event that we're ready to launch.
Mm-hmm.
We had to cancel it and move it up here. And that's what we've done for the last, 6 months is marketing
Getting
and,
this thing ready.
connecting and trying to build another festival to Roswell to help stimulate the local community.
Well, and I kind of look at it as like UFO Festival can get people's foot in the door. And then then this is an event that you can kind of follow up with and say, all right, I really enjoyed what I saw at UFO Festival. I'd like to go another level into that research and talking a little bit. And UFO Expo kind of gives people that opportunity.
Well, Expo 2 isn't really, we work hard and play hard.
Sure.
You know, we've got
it's a lot of fun too. Don't get me wrong.
The UFO Expo doesn't have individual speakers like they do here. We have what's called tracks.
Gotcha.
So we have multiple screens. You have one person in the middle speaking, and you have multiple screens. So you'll do it.
So it's kind of like an a la carte. You can walk around and check out at a particular moment a particular event going on, and if that doesn't,
well, we have multiple things going on at the same time. So if you get bored, you can do this.
Sure, you can wander over to the next thing.
But as far as the talks go, just so you understand this, so we've got multiple screens. So let's say you're talking about Travis Walton's incident, which you remember the
Sure.
And so maybe we bring in Mike over here, and we got Travis talking here, and somebody else from the truck over here, or maybe it's the sheriff or guard, whoever it is about that film, and you show a clip and you talk about it, and you zoom in other people so that the audience gets to interact with people they normally never would have seen.
How cool! So it's a different immersive experience.
Yeah, we sit on chairs, big white leather chairs and stuff, and a table between us. It's not the podium. Right. Not going to go down memory lane. We wanted to make it more interactive.
Sure.
Right? So we brought
It's
that
just
in.
not tables with here's my book, come get my book.
No.
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
cool.
little bit of that. Because
Sure.
everybody's got a table.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, we got a rock and roll band. We got we got music going outside. We got an individual player out there. We got the cosplay thing.
Yes,
we got a film
Galacticon
fest.
folks. They're going to have the cosplayers there. Come on down.
And it's primarily a film festival. So like James Woods and Melissa Tittle, who just finished Code 12, we're going to debut that film.
Oh, nice.
So it becomes more of a like a retreat.
Sure.
Right? Because we don't want people to just sit on fold-out chairs all afternoon and listen to somebody. That gets boring, right? Then
Absolutely.
Then you want to leave. But
then it sounds like school.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're also doing a shot with Travis, right? Or and listen to some music and then taking a break and so what we did is we scheduled multiple things for multiple days. So if you see one thing, you don't miss another.
Gotcha.
Right.
So and by the way, that's what's saying you get your passes and it's good all 3 days. So you come out Friday for some stuff and then come back Saturday and then come back Sunday. You'll get a different experience each and every day. So if you can only make one day and come out. But if you do have time, come out all 3 days. Come see the different speakers. Come out, come and cosplay if you want. You want to get in your costumes and have fun and wander. This is part of that too. It's going to be great food. It's all inclusive. You really, once you're there, you got everything you need there, and you can hang out till they kick you out at the end of the day.
It's kind of like a backstage pass.
Yeah,
really.
And then what I love about it too is you get to sit down and talk. Like get back to Travis. I love talking. Like I got the interview, so I talked him off. He's a funny dude. You get to talk to him, but every time I look at him, and even when you're talking to him normal, he's just, I don't know if you call it like a PTSD stare. Maybe that's the best I can describe it. you look at him and talk to him, and he looks at you like a guy who's seen something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't quite put your finger on it.
But something.
You just like, even if you didn't know a thing about Travis, didn't know him you just happened to run into him at Burger King or McDonald's or something, and you just look at him, and you're like, something happened to that dude. He's seen some things, and you just the way, you know what I'm saying? I know this sounds weird, but it's like you just look at him, and he just looks like a man that's got a lot on his head.
Authentic about it.
Yes, and that to me is just like the selling point. To me, it's like everything that happened to this man, I completely believe, because why would he lie about it? Even this years later, I mean, his buddies were about to go to jail for him disappearing. I mean, it was a whole he was about to hit for murder charges. It was an insane deal, and that's just one story. You know, there's 20 others of these same types of stories that you're going to be hearing and seeing from the different experts and speakers. You know, and then you got guys like your dad who come from that, you know, that a little bit of science side to it. You know, where we get. You know, we get like your Stanton Freemans of the world, where they're taking the DNA and they're going through the science of it, and it's like I think there's a guy at NMMI that they had some rocks they pulled out from the crash site, and they can't identify like the things in this rock.
What about that?
They're not on the none of our elementary charts. They're not. Like you can't go to our periodic table and say that's cobalt.
Was it Frank Kimpler?
I think so. I don't remember.
He's local here, right? He lives
yeah,
here.
yeah, and he was a professor at NMI.
Yeah, that's him.
And how do you explain that one? How do you explain there's not anything on the earth that we know of that's made out of that material? And
don't you think we're beyond believing? We know.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
we all know.
We're just waiting for either Independence Day to happen or Close Encounters. I'm not sure which, but we're all waiting for one of them.
We want our government to disclose. Yep. Do you really trust your government? I mean, do I really want them disclosing anything?
I think they already have.
I think in a way they did. But whistleblowers, right? But I think there's a race now because you've got Elon Musk, you've got these other independent, companies that are reaching out to space, so they don't want to come in second to them revealing something because NASA's like, we've been doing this for years, you never saw anything.
Sure.
So I think there is that pressure.
And events like the UFO Expo, you can't shut that down. I mean, you have too many people
behind
that are credible enough to hear their stories, and you can't discredit that.
Right.
The government can throw a smoke screen or whomever can throw any smoke screens they want out there, but when you have that many people sharing stories that are similar in nature, different stories, but a lot of common details, you can't discredit. You just can't discount that.
And what's nice about our get together too, this UFO Expo, it's more boutique, right? It's a little bit more personal.
A little bougie.
Well, it is because
more intimate.
But I know what you mean.
It's not so big that it's impersonal,
right?
And it's not so big they rush somebody off.
Like
the stage.
if you want to sit and talk to someone, you want to learn more about it. It's very casual, easy.
It's
that
all
way.
under one roof.
Yeah,
you can come, have a drink. Like I said, watch a movie. You can sit right next to Mike Barra and watch a screening. You can't do that at Alien Con.
Yeah,
too many people.
Right. Sure, and certainly, really, UFO Festival doesn't give you that kind of opportunity because there's so many people, wanting their time and wanting things. So you get like a minute with them. At this, you'll have time to sit and chat with them, hear the stories, ask questions. If it's a panel discussion or video or whatever it is, you get fully immersive into whatever that particular topic.
We even got.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
This is the Close Encounter Expo.
Up close and personal encounter.
But people are also going to be able to, remember Stevie Ray Vaughan and his brother Jimmy Vaughan.
Yeah.
Well, his son Tyrone Vaughan is a friend of mine.
Cool.
And he donated a guitar from the family Jimmy and his.
Oh wow.
And so we're raffling that off.
Oh cool.
So Tyrone Vaughan is doing a video, and we're going to play that video, and then it's going to be raffled off, by somebody locally here.
Okay.
Who. Just before the band plays.
Oh, cool.
Then, how often, do you see something like that? And then we got Rita King, the daughter of B.B. King. She's actually zooming in to talk to people during my track.
Oh, cool.
I call it a track. So how many people are going to say, I spoke to, B.B. King's daughter?
Sure. Just curious. Are these siblings believers too, or they've had their own experiences?
Well, Rita King is a backer of my park. I've got a UFO park in Massachusetts with a marker because we made history.
Okay.
She's a backer of that park, and we're going to announce that as well.
Cool.
And I'll tell you something else that we have never announced except for Clyde Lewis the other night.
By the way, we heard you on Clyde last night. Yeah.
There's so many commercial breaks.
Clyde's been a couple times. He's a fun dude.
I love that guy.
Yeah,
man.
he's a fun guy to talk.
I did a show with him in Portland. Or McMinnville. But we talked a little bit about how the Roswell Daily... This is what's so cool about this. There is a long-lasting friendship between our family and Roswell in general. Certainly with the museum,
Sure.
because they back our park.
Sure.
And so with that, I'll just let you guys know today that the Roswell Daily Record is actually co-authoring our book.
Oh, cool.
Because they played a part in it becoming historically true.
Their front page of that paper is one of the more famous artifacts from the crash incident. It really is.
So,
You know, that's
Toby over there is going to help me write it.
You know, you look at newspaper headlines that are famous around the world. You know, obviously the Kennedy assassination is one of them. You know, but I got to say that the Daily Record's UFO incident one's got to be in the top 10
global.
there. You know, it's a global front headline looking thing. So, and they always, you know, they always get in part in their involvement in that incident and things. So it's good to see because it's you know, who knows what that leads to. Maybe it's someday, you know how they have sister cities and all that.
Sure.
Maybe Roswell would become one of those.
They have those already. They go, you know, so-and-so's Roswell. So-and-so. When you know you're famous, when everybody wants to copy you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I feel bad for Roswell, Georgia. They probably get a lot of our flack.
That's not far from me. That's not far from me. It's 2 hours from me.
Didn't they call us for UFO Expo?
Once in a while, I accidentally stumble on their police department's Facebook page thinking it's ours. I'm like, no, wrong one.
So you're doing the news, and you're like, shooting down here on, I don't know where that mall is.
Yeah, I was like,
that's not our mall.
Where's all that green coming from? That's not us.
I am so sorry, guys. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's Georgia. I should have known by the grass.
Yeah, darn it. Now you feel so stupid.
But anyway, would love to have you come out. Again, it's going to be tomorrow through Sunday. What's the hours for each day at the convention center?
Well, I think we're open up tomorrow, probably around 1 or 2, something like that.
Okay.
You know? And then we're going to have it's going to be more outside. We're going to have some music out there. That kind
the
of thing.
weather's going to cooperate.
Yeah,
Thank
let's hope
goodness.
so. Knock
Yeah.
on particle board, right?
Yeah.
This is what. So anyway, then Saturday, same thing. I think 10 to probably midnight. That's the big day. And then Sunday, we're going to have like a round table recap.
Okay.
And I'll do some drinks with everybody. You know, I'll get pictures with everybody. We got a big step banner. We got the robots there. Frank is bringing the robots.
Nice. So you're going to come and bring the kids.
Sunday's like, let's wrap it up, get some pictures and stuff like that.
Cool.
We're not charging for photos either, like other places. That's what's really cool about this. We try to keep it really affordable.
Sure.
You know, that's the thing. We really are like bottom dollar on for an event of this nature.
It's really about, I mean, sure, you want to make money and you want to make sure all your vendors
just cut
make
even
money.
would be nice.
But,
you know?
but at the end of the day, it's about getting the information, getting people, getting it on people's radar. And so, you know, it's...
And this community can, you know, would like to see, I think, more than one UFO event a year.
Sure.
I mean, that's one of the reasons we were brought here, too, because, you know, this you know, there's only so many flights during the 4th. There's only so many hotel rooms.
That's true.
So why not bring something else in that's a little different, but in the same flavor, but not a competitor, if you will, but something that complements.
Absolutely.
And see how it goes. And, you know, I've got so many freaking cool people here, like yourself and a bunch of other people. I mean, it's really a cool place,
It's
man.
a fun town. We
it
have,
is, in a lot of
it's
ways.
a small. It's like I was talking the other day. We're a town of 50,000 with a small community with a big minefield that still acts like a small town sometimes.
That's
and
internationally recognized everywhere.
Yeah,
There's
you
movies
go to
made about you guys are like etched in.
Yeah,
in
you go to Africa or probably even Antarctica, and someone's
you
like
know,
Roswell,
you've
New
been to
Mexico.
Roswell?
I know that. Yeah, exactly.
It's like landing on the moon.
So I got curious. Is it what you thought it was? Since it's your first time to Roswell, is it?
She's been working the whole time.
So you probably haven't seen much of Roswell. I mean, like seen, you know,
Well,
just other than
I'm
travel.
still waiting to go to the McDonald's.
Oh, you haven't been to the UFO McDonald's?
No, I drove by it. He drove by so fast. I'm like, hey, slow down.
I don't know. On Fridays, McDonald's does sponsors the show, so we get free food on Fridays. But
you get free food from McDonald's? What Friday? Can we get back?
Yeah, come on by tomorrow morning. But I've been addicted right now. For a limited time, they've had blueberry cream pies. You know, they're fried pies.
Yeah.
They got a blueberry cream one.
Nice, tasty.
Oh, just go in there and get one of those, and walk around and look, and then eat that and leave. You'll feel guilty because you know.
Well, we're gonna actually be there. Someone's gonna be there on Saturday.
Oh,
you know?
that's right. You're gonna have some stuff out there on Saturday.
Yeah, well, we're working with Barbara Gomez and Main Street Roswell. Super cool people, man.
Yeah.
They're the best, man. And
We've had a
Elaine
lot
from
of good support.
Galacticon, my God, man.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
awesome. So we're going to be having some of our guys go to certain locations that Barbara would like them to go to.
Okay, cool.
McDonald's is one of them. So I think Mike Barra and I are going to be there on Saturday.
Okay.
And then Frank's going to be at the museum.
Well, don't leave it out of there without a blueberry cream pie.
And I'll be holding the fort down at the convention center.
You recommend
It's a 10. I love that thing. It's like crack.
Yeah. Crack at McDonald's.
Right? It's McDonald's version of crack.
Right.
With whipped cream pie.
Yeah, get it today.
And then, but don't forget too, there's going to be food and everything. So when you do get your hanker for some food at the expo, there's going to be plenty of places for you to
We're having
get some
brisket brisket on Saturday.
food and have social.
And those
time.
guys have been working hard too. I got to give it.
Oh
to
yeah,
a lot of the guys.
they do put out good food at the every food I've had at the convention center is pretty tasty. So they got you covered, and please come out, check it out.
Yeah.
Check out the speaker. I guarantee you're gonna go in there kind of blown away. You're gonna kind of walk in, and you may even I don't care if you kind of go in with like the Debbie Downer, the
Skeptical.
the pot shot taker, I'm the smart Alec.
What's this all about?
I know that guy. I'm a little bit of him. But you're going to go in there and you'll be like, oh, dang. What? Nuh-uh. You know what I mean? And that's kind of...
And you're giving away tickets too, right?
Yes, I've been giving away. I have one pair left.
No way.
I've given away the other ones already.
Well, we've got more.
I think Sean's got a couple left.
All right,
I'm down to one pair.
We marked them down like half price for locals too.
Yes, they're only
pay something forward.
Just $50 per ticket.
Right. And you got a bunch of them.
And we'll be giving away free ones here, but I'm going to give away a couple more between now and then.
You want another
in the
stack
show
of them to
tomorrow?
give away?
I'll never say no.
We could do
We just want to help the community as much as
we
possible.
want to come out and check it out. See it for yourself. See all the things. Talk to the panels. Talk to the different, check out the books. Maybe that's what we're hoping is you get there and you hear these things. And then when you're done, grab a book or two and you can go home and when you get bathroom time, because that's where I read, you can do your reading and
Short
get caught up on
quick articles.
Exactly.
I'm not a novel guy. I'm in and out.
Well, the iPad is cut into my reading because now I spend more time taking that thing to the toilet than my books. So
the porcelain library.
That's right. I'm the porcelain librarian.
Let me tell you, she labels everything. It's hilarious.
That'd be a good YouTube channel, the porcelain librarian. He just
Take
does
us on the road.
He does book reviews from the toilet. I think that's my book reviews from the toilet.
Yeah,
I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, with our cast, the plungers.
Not Tales from the Crypt, it's Tales from the Toilet.
And then you could do based on leg numbness on how good the book is. If your legs are really numb, it's a good book. And if it's not so numb, it's not so good.
You got to get a personality.
I think that would be the move. We'd go there on that.
And taste the green chilies.
Exactly.
Hot chilies in Roswell.
Exactly. But please make plans to attend. Come on out. Is there a website or something if they want to kind of read and see all the different panels and schedule events?
That's when you know it's over, when they ask for the website.
Yes.
UFO XPO. A lot of people go EXPO. That's in Canada. UFOXPO.com.
Very good.
Yeah,
XPO.com. And then, of course, it will be links on our Facebook and all that, too, to get there. And then, of course, come on out starting tomorrow. Game on starting tomorrow. Come on out. And like I said, it's going to be 3 full days of all kinds of discussions, films, music, cosplay, food, entertainment.
And you can come and go.
Autographs.
Yeah. And that's just it. If you're like, hey, I got to go do a thing in the afternoon with the kids. Great, come out in the morning, and then when you're done, come pop by.
Hey, where else
afterwards
would you rather go if you already paid the ticket?
Exactly. Once you get the ticket, it's good all 3 days.
That's right.
Come and go as you please, and come and be a part of the event, and bring a few friends. I think that's the thing you'll get is you're I guarantee if you go through there, you're going to find at least one story that blows you away, or just you can't believe that's what they experienced, and you're just like, holy cow, this is. And what? It's eye opening.
It's my thinking behind this. Let me interrupt you, but
no.
But we're trying to bring like-minded people together, and that's why we incorporated the cosplay thing, because they're sci-fi. They watch the shows. And then you've got, the band is kind of like a caveat for Saturday night.
Well, it's kind of like whatever gets your foot in the door. It's like, hey, if you came out for all the fun partying and dancing, then you accidentally learn, oh, by the way, there's aliens and this is what's been going on.
So take out, for instance, the directors and producers that do a film. They're just going by a script. But how about when you bring those people in to meet Travis, to meet Mike Barr, to meet Daryl Sims and the rest of them. Mark D'Antonio is going to be here from NASA's Unexplained Files. Great guy. So now you're introducing these people to the film producers, which who knows where that will go.
Sure.
But you're taking people who've never met maybe a Travis, hypothetically, and now they're in the same room with them, and Travis is also watching their film.
Sure.
So now there's discussions.
Yeah.
That brings up the obvious questions. Let's talk about this.
Sure.
And so then you have a party together. They loosen up. They have a couple drinks. They start things happen, and that's what we're trying to do is make things happen.
As much as it's an informative and to get the word out,
right?
I would imagine it's therapy for these folks too. Because
absolutely.
I'm pretty sure every single one of these folks that have gone through an encounter are dealing with some kind of trauma, some kind of post-trauma.
Yeah, we did too.
You know what I mean? It's just human, and we're learning a lot more about PTSD in the last 20, 30 years, and we commonly associate with fire, police, war, military, and things. But if you went through what Travis went through, and that don't mess you up, then something's you're just completely empty in there.
We went through a lot too, and to give you an idea, right? We were with family. There's 4 of us, and so we had each other to rely on and talk to. But I'll tell you something. I'll make this clear, really clear. The off-world experience we had was not all that trying to us.
Okay.
I mean, if you saw a UFO, you're not. I don't know why people say I was terrified, I was scared.
Sure.
I mean, it's not firing missiles at you, right? I mean,
sure.
It's just
well,
it's there.
Fairly unknown, maybe.
Yeah, but there's an uncomfortable feeling. Like, what's the significance? What does this mean for us in the future?
Sure.
However, we were more in awe. But what was really hard for us, and I think Travis too, was the on-world experience that followed the off-world.
Gotcha.
The way people treated you in school, the way that you got beat up, or
bullies.
You're bullied, and right. And
think you're a wacko, or thinking you're crazy, or something.
That's what really hurt us as children.
Well, and this might be where Hollywood messes with you, because obviously you know you look at Fire in the Sky and see that movie, and you think they did the experiments and all that, and so. But for you, it's almost like.
Did you see Berkshire's UFO?
No, I have not seen
on
it.
Netflix? Okay.
No, I got to check that out. That one I have not checked out yet. I need.
They left out a lot of documents, like it gave you all the papers and everything. So anyway.
That's there's something added to the list for this weekend. I'm going to be checking out.
Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to show clips from the Berkshire's UFO and say, this wasn't mentioned. This is what was not said. And I have the documents from the governor. You would have thought all this stuff would have been shown.
Sure.
But, you never know what happens at the cutting room floor, right? So this gives me an opportunity to talk about it.
Sure. And I am not going to lie. Whenever I hear like your story or anyone's story, I instantly put myself in those shoes. Like, how would I handle that? If I'm sitting here and a UFO shows up in front of me and now they're inviting me on board or sucking me up on board or whatever, how would I react to that? And I'd like to say I'd be cool.
You would need your space huggies.
Yeah, but I might be like, exactly. I'm like,
I'll have a rum and Coke.
Can I bring some
pretzels and cheese?
I need some spare pants before we go, please. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of, I get a lot of silly questions. If you want to hear a couple, right?
Yeah.
Do aliens play sports? Is there a monetary system in place?
Sure.
Right? All these little things, because just like ghosts, right?
Sure.
People talk about that, paranormal all comes up, and I wouldn't want to be a ghost because I'd lose my sight. I wouldn't be able to see anything. I wouldn't be able to hear anything. I love pizza. Would I ever taste pizza again?
Yeah.
There's all these weird things, and after a couple of drinks, it gets pretty funny.
Sure.
There's a truth to it too, to some degree, right?
Sure.
So you're on your 4th drink and you're going, I got one. What if? Right?
I think
it's kind of funny what comes out from people because they hide it, they keep it in.
I think it's us rationalizing, trying to normalize something that's so not normal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
How do you
it's
make sense of something that doesn't make sense?
How can I make sense out of it? And so they're like, okay, what human things do they into that we are into? Do they eat food? Do they have jobs? Do they watch TV? Do they,
no bills to pay?
Do they have entertainment? Or do they just sit in their ship and stare at each other for the whole time?
Whatever. Is there a school system?
Sure.
Are they uncanny valley?
I would
are
imagine.
They real? Are they hybrids?
It's a life form like anything else, and each one is different, just like us, and they're probably different. You know what I mean? Okay, what some differences might be, they don't eat the same foods we do because their palates are different, or maybe they don't breathe air, maybe they breathe nitrogen. I don't know, but I imagine there's probably, when you get down to the core of it, the people's soul part of it, I think you're gonna find a lot of similarities there. This is just me.
And they're probably doing podcasts just like we are.
Exactly.
Humans.
So we were on Earth.
I wonder if
Let's talk about the humans.
I wonder if we're like all of our YouTube and TikTok videos are up there making fun of us. Look at these clowns.
So we tapped into 106.5 in Roswell, and they were talking about us.
It's like parallel universe, just a different.
Watch this guy eat bug spray. Check him out.
And who's this? What's this Fox Network?
Right. This guy's eating 12 hamburgers.
He's wearing what at Walmart?
So I got a question for you. All right. So do you think UFOs are paranormal? Do you think it belongs in the paranormal realm?
No.
I don't either.
Because they're physical things. We're paranormal. I think that's dealing with energy and levels and afterlife and what happens after that. That's a different subject than things that are already here, just not here.
I'm with you.
With us.
I don't really consider it paranormal.
I think it's two different. I mean, I can see why you lump it together because it's unknown and we fear unknown.
Maybe now it's becoming more.
And I would imagine they're even
maybe
confused.
they travel in a way that might be considered.
Have you talked to John LeMay by chance? I don't know if he's going to be. He's a local author, but he's with the Historical Society and things. But he's written some old, like he does a lot of Billy the Kid stuff and all of that.
Love that stuff.
But he's also written some books about cowboys and aliens, and he's talked about stories of UFO encounters like in the 1800s
There
and
were
things.
some, yeah.
And what I love about it is because they use the vocabulary of what they know. They didn't have rockets and things. They didn't know about rockets, and so their descriptions almost sound like dragons and things that that would be, you know what I mean, that would be knowledgeable from their perspective, but not from someone in
Chariots on
2023.
fire, like that. You see a lot of that,
So their
those
descriptions
references.
are different,
Sure.
but if you kind of line them up with our descriptions and their vocabulary, it lines up.
Kind of like the biblical days, you know, like what they saw and how they described it.
Yeah, they just describe it as different things because they didn't have the things that we have today to
like when I
compare
was a
them
child.
to.
Perfect example. I referenced what we saw looking like a turtle shell, because it was a child. That's what I saw. That's what it reminded me of, a turtle shell. So if I were to have written a book as a kid, I would have said it looked like a flying turtle shell.
Exactly, same concept. Yeah,
exactly.
and so it's
You're
to me
limited
that's
to your
fascinating.
resources and your references.
And that's where you can look at the history of these things and see there is a track record if you know what you're looking for. You just got to know what you're looking for.
What's the oldest case you know of?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't give you a date on it.
All right, next caller.
I couldn't give you a date. I just hear stories. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I know a lot about a little bit about a lot of things.
Radio, man. I'd give you a master of the radio.
Do you want to tell them about our next big conference that's going to be in Spruce Pine?
Yeah, give that real quick before because we're about out of time. So do it real quick. Yes.
You go ahead. You can run with it.
So UFO Expo is going to be added again.
Okay.
June 10th. We're going to be in Spruce Pine, North Carolina.
Okay.
For the SprucePineFestival.com.
Okay.
So we're bringing the show on the road.
So if you're out
we're
back
going to have
east in
a
June.
great guest speakers, great lineup, and
then
June
I think
10th.
we're coming back here too, maybe in October to do
That's
one.
possible.
We're talking to some people about possibly doing a smaller one for the Halloween season, and more with the Galacticon. You know, the whole cosplay.
So you're picking when our weather's nicer. Spring now, October nice then.
Oh yeah, it's hot in the summer.
July is 300 degrees
But I like
here.
it. We're from Florida though. But,
well, we have less humidity.
Yeah, I was freezing the other day. Walking around, my God, it gets below 50 degrees. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah. When we don't have any humidity to make up for it.
Yeah, it gets cold tonight.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Big swing in temperature.
It does. Yeah, it's the desert. We're the desert, man. It's it'll be 40s at night and 80s in the day. It's just what it is.
But some really cool people here, genuine people.
Yeah.
We've made a lot of really good friends. You know.
Well, we appreciate you coming in and talking to us here.
Thank
we
you for
we
having
can't
us.
wait to see you guys out this weekend. Again, come on out tomorrow, starting tomorrow. Get your tickets. Give out the website for tickets again.
UFOXPO.com.
XPO without the E.
Yes.
And if you mess up, put the E. I'm sure you'll find a thing that
and
corrects you and
locals
takes
here
you
can
to
get
it.
tickets at. Also, they can get tickets.
Chamber?
The Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber, the Main Street Roswell has some. I think who else?
Some of the stores, Alien Invasion.
A few places out
So
there. Yeah.
check them out. But Chamber for sure. I know.
Yes,
so
right-
they've
right around
definitely
the
got
corner here.
and they're right around the corner. Hispano Chamber as well. Main Street's here in this building upstairs.
Oh, one
So,
more thing. Can I say
yeah.
one more thing?
Sure.
How much time do I got?
About less than a minute.
5 seconds.
All right.
Yeah.
Please, can I have 5 minutes? No, not good. So there was a new sculpture that was just delivered to the Roswell UFO Museum yesterday.
Oh, cool.
It was made by a very well-to-do and famous sculptor in Colombia. Her name is Betsy. And she made the alien figure that our family witnessed.
Oh, cool.
And it's been donated to the museum.
Nice.
I don't even think it's on the floor yet.
Okay.
So just
Give it some time. Give the curator some time to create the exhibit.
So if you're here in town, make sure you run in there because you'll be one of the first to ever see it. So
cool.
It just was delivered, like I said,
Hot off the
yesterday
press.
by Toby from the Roswell Daily Record who picked it
Awesome.
up.
Well, cool. Yeah. Well, there you go. Add something to the list here on things.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you guys, and I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. We'll see you again soon. Maybe we'll see you in October.
See you this
I'm thinking
weekend?
tomorrow because you got like McDonald's coming.
Oh, that's right. Pop on in.
Did they
Anytime.
do they deliver it? Is it
Well,
delivered?
we bring it here, but yeah,
you
it's
gotta
here.
go get it?
Roy picks it up on the way to
right,
the
Big Mac,
office in the
big-
morning.
it's early,
so-
those.
Yeah, come on, 7.
I want one of those blueberry things.
Yeah, go for it. Oh man, there are 10. When y'all there Saturday?
Yeah.
Only one.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. More than one, you're gonna. Next thing you know, you're gonna be selling your kids to get more of them.
We've been eating our way through Roswell.
That's right.
Hey, in all seriousness, I really want to thank you for having us. I mean,
Anytime.
that's a serious. This has been fun.
Yes.
I'm
And I
glad
really
we can
appreciate it. You guys
get you
have
on,
been
and
awesome.
we appreciate. And we'll see you again in October, hopefully too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Good
See you
night.
then.
Thank
All
you.
right, 7:59. Let's do a quick break before we get kicked off the radio. Don't go away.
Third five-year term as China's president, BBC's Stephen McDonnell in Beijing.
Xi Jinping's power comes from him being General Secretary of the Communist Party and Chairman of the Central Military Commission. However, at the National People's Congress today, he was also again given the title of President. In the Chinese system of governance, it's only a ceremonial position. In terms of real control, of much more significance was him being reaffirmed as head of the military.
A shooting at a Jehovah's Witnesses hall in the German city of Hamburg has left 8 people dead. The gunman is among them. German prosecutors say he took his own life as police closed in. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 2 points. The Nasdaq off 86. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Abuse of power and money laundering, arguing the charges are purely political.
Muhyiddin Yassin and his party have been under investigation by the current government since they lost power in a tightly contested election in 2021. The former prime minister was charged after anti-corruption authorities questioned him about a COVID recovery project his administration launched. Mr. Muhyiddin was granted bail but was ordered to hand in his passport. If found guilty of all charges, he faces up to 35 years in jail and a heavy fine. His trial is likely to increase political tensions in Malaysia.
That's a BBC's Anna Aslam. Officials in Kiev say Ukraine's capital has restored most of its power supply as the country once again responds swiftly and defiantly to the latest Russian barrage targeting crucial infrastructure in Ukraine. News and analysis at townhall.com. Emmy Award-winning actor Robert Blake has died.
Blake's niece says he died Thursday from heart disease in Los Angeles. He was 89. Blake starred in the 1970s TV show Beretta. He was acquitted of the shooting death of his wife, Bonnie Lee Bakley, outside a Studio City restaurant on May 4, 2001. In a 2002 interview with the Associated Press while he was jailed awaiting trial, he bemoaned the change in his status with his fans nationwide. A jury acquitted him, but a civil jury would find him liable for her death and order him to pay Bakley's family $30 million. A judgment would send him into bankruptcy. I'm Norman Hall.
The bodies of 2 Americans murdered in Matamoros, Mexico, have now been returned to the U.S. The Americans apparently got caught in the middle of a gunfight between members of rival drug cartels, and a letter purportedly from one of the cartels apologizes for the deaths. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Roy is adorable. He comes in here on the day you're gone to drop the deuce. And he said, do we have to do that? Like, no, we're not required by the FCC to do that.
No, that's not a rule.
No.
It's just a thing. Yeah. It's just something we
We're
do.
required to act in the public interest and also to drop the deuce.
That's right. And then we drop the Trace and Pierre knows next hour. Sure. Or hour 3.
No.
Whatever.
But that almost never happens.
Almost. You know what? Something that does happen every Friday. McDonald's hooks us up with delicious breakfast treats.
Yes, they do.
Thank you. Fine. Thank you, and mucho gracias to McDonald's for providing us delicious breakfast treats. I'm telling you, I think I've convinced more people to try the blueberry cream pie in the last 2 weeks. I've been selling that thing to everybody. Every time a McDonald's conversation comes up in my life, which is more often than you think.
It does come up a lot. Yeah.
I do a pitch for the blueberry cream pie. It's a 10, man. I love that thing. So. And I think it should be more important coming from me because I'm a chocolate guy first.
Yeah.
Dessert, if it doesn't have chocolate, I don't consider it dessert. Blueberry cream pie, exception to the rule.
But I would argue that the blueberry holds a specifically special place in your heart because of your grandma.
True that.
I feel like it almost gets to be grandfathered in.
It could be.
Or grandmothered in, I guess, in this case.
I wonder if, blueberry and chocolate, because you don't see a lot of blueberry chocolate combos in dessert.
Yeah,
I mean, they have that
the dark chocolate usually with blueberry.
That acai, which is kind of like it, but it's a little different. So that's the closest thing I've seen. I've never seen a
blueberry chocolate bar.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Not really. It's not one that comes up very often. Although there's a lot of
I imagine it's good.
There's a lot of those Hammond's chocolate bars. They have a lot of different kinds. They might have
maybe
something like that.
I know. You know what's really good together is prickly pear and chocolate.
I've never had prickly pear.
I had one when I went to the Grand Canyon a couple years ago. Apparently, prickly pear products. Say that 3 times fast.
Pear products
are I don't know if they make them there or just
That's like their thing.
A green chili thing. But I at the gift shop there they had prickly pear chocolate bars, and I didn't have a lot of places to purchase my sinful chocolates. So I had to get it from the gift shop. And, and I tried the prickly pear candy bar. And I was happy. I was like, this is a fine combination.
Yeah,
I didn't try anything else.
Prickly pear is the fruit on top of the cactus, right? It's not like the leaf or the
I'm
cactus meat.
Assuming. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. My Boy Scout knowledge of vegetation is more limited to East Coast, not so much out here.
Well, my mindset is I was raised to believe that if a plant hurts you, you're not supposed to consume its parts.
Yeah, but you can drink the water of a cactus.
Actually, they say you're not supposed to do that.
Well,
the swallow, you're not supposed to tap it because that water can be you can get parasites from it, and it can just be not.
I'm dying in the desert. I think I'm going to take that risk.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I'm going to die of dehydration, but I might get parasites.
Well, yeah, but you run the risk of getting Giardia and making things worse for yourself.
Yeah. Wait, I see it. If I'm stranded in the desert and I'm digging through cactus to find water, things are pretty bleak.
Not to be confused with that pretty chef on the Food Network. That's Jadia. Not Jadia. Jardia. It's a little different. One causes crippling diarrhea, and one makes a pretty good bolagnese.
Well, I don't know her. Yeah, I'm not
Giardia de Laurentiis.
I might see her.
De Laurentiis.
I probably would recognize her face.
You probably
does she show up on like Bobby Flay shows and all those?
She's usually the one who's on right before Barefoot Contessa.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I don't watch those shows per se.
She's buddies with Bobby Flay, so she shows up on a lot of his stuff.
So yeah, that would be where I'd probably see her is because if there's absolutely nothing on and there's a marathon of beat Bobby Flay, I'm like, I'll watch an episode or two, and so I'll watch it, and it's pretty much the same episode every single episode, and so that would be the one place. But past that, I don't know. Food Network people, I know Guy Fieri, I know Bobby Flay. I know that ball head dude, but I can't remember his name.
There's
Michael
a
something.
There's a few there's a few that branched out and sort of started doing their own thing, but a lot of the obscure known ones. Alton Brown, I think, is the one you're talking about, by the way.
I know who that is. That's not who I'm thinking of yet. That guy. I know he's a food guy, but he seems like he's always been a host more than a chef.
Okay, the whole thing with him is he seems like he has really pretentious tastes.
He's almost more of the sommelier type than a chef type.
He seems like he would shame you for your choice of olive oil.
Yeah. Welch's grape is beneath you. Yeah, he does have an air about it. But anyway, you know what? Roy, I'm going to put you to work. We're going to give away a pair of Expo tickets.
Ooh.
So be on the ready to
be dialing.
Be on the ready to dial some Simon, Michael Simon.
Simon.
That's the guy.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
But then there's a couple others. I don't remember their names. I just know their faces. Hey, this weekend.
Yeah.
Today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Yep.
UFO Expo happening at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. I've got a pair of tickets.
I just went through the rundown on ufoexpo.com. So if you want to check it out, by the way, ufoxpo.com. We got folks coming from the Travel Channel. We got folks coming from Ancient Aliens, from SNL. We got folks who are involved in Marvel projects. We got folks coming from all walks of entertainment, cosplay events, mixers. Your chance to kind of get to know and get behind the scenes looks and info on all these films that are being screened.
Yeah.
Q&As with directors. It's a jam-packed 3-day event.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know we played our interview with Tom and Rhiannon. They actually joined us yesterday. We played it last hour. And, unfortunately, we didn't get a whole lot of time to talk more into Tom's story, which is very interesting itself.
Which is, another reason to go and check it out.
But you can hear more of that this weekend. But I do have a pair of tickets to give away right now. These are valued at $100, $50 a piece.
$50.
So a pair of tickets, and these are good all 3 days. You can go all 3 days, any 3 days, whatever. Anytime you want to go this weekend, this ticket will get you into it. Be my first caller right now, 575-578-1198, 575-578-1198. 575-578-1198. Be my first caller now.
575-578-1198.
Yes, be our first caller now and get a pair of tickets to UFO Expo for this weekend at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Yeah, they got music and food and all kind of stuff there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to play our interview with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum later on this hour. By the way, visit any of your McDonald's. Big thank you to them. I know we got sidetracked with blueberry cream pies. Sidetracks me every time. But big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by any of your McDonald's. They've got you covered. Get you a delicious treat. Download the app. Check out some of the exclusive deals and things that are only available to you via the app. And start earning rewards for free food every time you make a purchase to the app. So definitely worth your time, money, and taste buds to download the McDonald's app today. So,
yeah, buddy.
Good deal. All right, it is 8:14. Let us go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit of morning cloud cover, and then we get sunshine this afternoon as low pressure moves to our north. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 40s. Very warm on Saturday and also very windy. Our afternoon highs in the mid 80s, wind gusting to 35 miles an hour. And then for Sunday, sunny and upper 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 77%. Winds currently out of the south at 12 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny today. Expect a high of 76 degrees with south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 48 degrees. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly sunny and 84 tomorrow. Winds will be a bit breezy, though, out of the west in the morning, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Later increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour by Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 49 degrees, northwest winds at around 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then sunny on Sunday, expect a high of 76 with west winds 10 to 20. Sunny and 68 for Monday when you head back to work and school. And looks like back in the mid-70s Tuesday, Wednesday in the 80s, and the R word, rain. Slight chance on Thursday. We'll see. All right, it is 8:16. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then on the other side, we're going to play our interview with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor. Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water-diverting cricket, You may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating 2 companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
ENMU Roswell offers high school students the opportunity to get a head start on their college education journey into healthcare. Through the Allied Health Careers Pathway, high school learners can enroll in dual credit courses that introduce them to a wide range of careers that include emergency medical technician, paramedic, nursing, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, phlebotomy, and nursing assistant. Start your healthcare career path at ENMU Roswell. Contact your high school counselor for more information.
Get lucky all month long at Roswell Nissan. With a lot stocked with great new and pre-owned vehicles, and with 0 down on nearly every vehicle, you'll save a pot of gold. Like a 2016 Ford F-350, 0 down, just $439 a month. Or a 2021 Nissan Versa, 0 down, just $221 a month. How about a 2014 Toyota Camry, 0 down and only $189 a month? And if that's not enough, does no payments for 90 days sweeten the pot? Come save a little extra green during the Luck of the Irish sales event at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits for the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, Robert Sherman back with us. Good morning.
I've fallen asleep on my side, too. Actually, I'm a side sleeper.
Yeah, and I think
thanks, Mike.
Pets will fall asleep on everybody's sides.
That's right.
They don't care.
That's true.
And we're too nice to kick them out of our spots, too.
Yeah.
But for folks that don't know, Robert joins us once a month and gives an update on what's happening over at the Walker Aviation Museum. And then we also talk a little history of the area when it comes to military and the service of what some of the things that took place in this area that were serviced. Most of it World War II, but some of it a little after and a little before. But mostly that and Cold War era.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit today about the Hound Dog missile, which, I kind of was aware, but I wasn't that aware until a lady came in from flying and waiting to fly out of here.
Okay.
We're at the museum, and she talks about her father being here in 1962 with a Hound Dog missile, maintenance, and blah, blah, blah. And I go, so I went, did a little more research on it. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Are those the first IC or first missiles that they were putting in before they came in with some of the other
it was
more modern versions?
It came in about 1959. It started being developed. And next thing you know, about 29 wings. I didn't realize that many wings of B-52s. Had them for a while.
Okay.
We had 2 of our bomb squadrons here had the Hound Dog missile. 2 out of the 3 B-52 squadrons.
Okay. I didn't. I'm not a whole lot familiar with their capabilities and stuff, and because they were long gone by the time I got, and I was just kind of curious what some of the. Like, was it one of these precursor to some of the more
long, skinny, sharp nose on it with the little wings at the tip?
Was it air to air or air to ground?
And it was a turbojet underneath it.
Okay. Yeah, was it designed for air to air capabilities?
No, it was air to ground.
Okay. So it was kind of. Did it have any smart capabilities or any guidance or anything?
It did later.
Okay.
At first, it was kind of pretty limited, and then it got to be more of where it could follow the terrain and stuff.
Okay. Because for folks that may not realize, like a lot of laser-guided or especially the laser-guided bombs, a lot of those are old Navy dumb bombs that they convert. Like a GBU-10 is a 2,000-pound laser-guided bomb. It has the body of a Mark 84, which is an old 2,000-pound bomb, dumb bomb.
Gravity bomb, yeah.
And then basically they replace the seeker head on it with the smart part that makes it think. and then they got the fin package that guides it because there's no propulsion.
Right.
It's free falling, and then with laser guided, it picks up a laser that's its kind of guide, and it'll follow that laser to the target. And aircraft can paint it. You know, the early versions they had a guy on the ground painting it, but like I know with stealth, what I worked on, it would be the aircraft would paint the target and guide the laser guided bomb, which works great unless you got a cloudy day. Then they get to be a problem. That's when they brought in the GPS bombs because they don't need they're not hindered by cloud cover and things like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I got off topic.
Okay. Yeah, we're out at the Walker Museum, by the way. I'll throw this out early and then late again, but if everybody out there want to go to our website at wafbmuseum.org and then click on the education slot. If it's on a computer, it's right at the top, or the little bars up the upper right-hand corner, and select education, and then you can scroll down and see kind of what our program is we have out there for like 12 to 18-year-old kids. I say that because I'm 80 years old. 12 to 18-year-old adults or young adults.
Which, by the way, you would never know. You move and act and like a man much younger than that.
I'm okay. Well, thank you.
Matter of fact, put a uniform on this man. I bet you could you can mistake him for a general today. You put him in and walk around. They'd be like, "Oh, he's a general."
No, yeah. So anyway, you go to wfbmuseum.org and select education, and then select go on down, and you can hit an area that talks about professional pilot training. You can click on that, and there's 38 videos of professional pilot training by the same company. It gives you about 12 hours worth of training. So if you took and listened to all those and studied that, and then you showed up to go maybe train as a pilot, you'd be one smart cookie.
This is the thing. If there's anybody listening that has any interest in desiring to get their pilot's license and learning to fly, the first thing you should do is talk to Robert, talk to the folks at the museum here, and get some time on that simulator. It really gets you to see if this is something you want to do, and it's a whole lot cheaper to learn this way than start paying for flying lessons and all the other expenses involved there. But B, you're actually starting towards your training. You're in the simulator. That's counting as actual logging hours and things for your flight hours and stuff like that. It's all legit. So yes, flying can be very expensive, paying for the training and all that. But there are ways to do it very affordably, and starting out by talking to the Walker Aviation Museum and getting in on the trainer and learning a little bit and some of the aspects could be, pardon the pun, but your flight plan to whatever career or passion that you have down the road here. So.
Right. And besides, if you're don't know exactly and may not be, aviation, on our website, if you go down until you see 3 photos, kind of one shot of me from the back, and then Bob Donnell, our great helper out there helping the kids. Right above those photos is a little block that says comprehensive list of STEM jobs, STEM being science, technology, engineering, or math. And you can click on that and you go to a different website. And we found out later it happens to be the same website that I know at least Goddard uses.
Okay.
But when you get that website, it lists alphabetically 331 STEM jobs. Like some of them, I never heard of before, but they're interesting.
Yeah.
And you can click on it, and it'll probably end up giving you anywhere from 20 to 30, 40 pages of information about that particular job.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So,
then toward the bottom of the list, if you're from Roswell area and you're not out of town, we've listed about 500 STEM type jobs, quote unquote, in the Roswell region.
Oh, wow.
So if you're getting ready to get out of high school, you can say, well, I'm interested kind of in stuff like that, and then you'll see a list. I don't have phone numbers or addresses listed, but you get the name of the company and you can look it up yourself.
Absolutely, but it gives you a path to start planning and deciding it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, this week we've got matter of fact today, David West. David, commandant out there,
the New Mexico Military Institute.
New Mexico Military Institute Aero Club. I think it's they call it Aero Club. It might be Aero something else, but anyway, they're coming out today for about just a short visit. They only have about 45 minutes they can be there. But anyway, they're going to come out.
You'll give them a tour.
Today, about 4 o'clock.
Nice.
And then next week we have scheduled Catholic, the local Catholic school here, the middle school group.
Oh, cool.
Are coming out for about a 2.5 hours.
Is it All Saints or?
Yeah, I guess the one up there in North Kentucky.
Yes, that's it.
All Saints. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shame on me. I should remember that. But, that's one of those days. Okay. Anyway, they're coming up next week, and they'll be there for about 2.5 hours for our full program that you'll see if you go to our website. That's one of the first things you come to after you hit education.
Cool. Very good. Yeah. And by the way, if you're a youth group or an educational group or anything like that, these opportunities are available to you. Just reach out to the museum, go to the website there and shoot a message or on the Facebook, and they'll be happy to get back with you and tell you more or talk to you more about making arrangements for that kind of stuff. They do it all the time. So same thing with, if you just want like a, non-youth groups, if you're having a civic organization or something that would like to arrange a tour for your organization, please reach out to us and the folks will be happy to do all that.
Yeah. So. I had a good experience this week. I got a phone call from a friend of mine, Roger Landry. He was the hospital commander when I was at Beale with the SR-71 U-2.
Okay.
And then...
sorry. It's 80 degrees in here. I have the window open, and they're replacing the trash dumpster outside, so it's dinging.
So anyway, Roger Landry came by, and then he went on to become the chief flight surgeon for the Air Force. So I worked for him, kind of with him when I was at Beale, and then when I went to headquarters Air Force, worked on trying to run the aerospace physiology program. He was the chief flight surgeon for the Air Force. So
oh wow,
we had a lot of connections, but I hadn't seen him in a long time, and he was driving through with his wife. So I said, I'll meet you at Cattle Baron at 12 noon. Getting a little Cattle Baron advertisement here. But so I thought, well, you just want to come through. He's on the way to Amarillo. So typically, he's coming down from Albuquerque. I said, okay, we'll meet you there. He said, I'll meet you there at noon. So I said, okay, fine. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I better get there early, da-da-da. I got there, actually running kind of late, and I got there, and I had to complain to him. I said, you told me you'd be there at noon, but you were actually there about 10 seconds early. He was driving in. We actually could have hit each other.
Oh, wow.
Vehicles. So it was like, I forgot. He's pretty exact on the.
Well, I imagine being a flight surgeon.
Yeah.
Usually people like that probably live in a world of minutes and seconds. So, or did at one point. So that's how their brains are wired.
Yeah,
so.
But he's still really active with public health and stuff. So anyway, he's a cool guy.
Good deal. Very cool. But by the way, so please reach out. Now, if you'd like to just come and check out the museum at your leisure, it generally works around the flight schedule. So during usually mid-morning, it'll open up till after lunch there.
The flight schedule, the midday flight schedule, just recently changed from a takeoff, American Airlines, of about 10 till 2 to about 10 till 1.
So it's
so now we're out there from about 10:30 in the morning until about 1 o'clock.
Okay. So through the lunch and a little before, a little after.
Yeah,
so
right.
Hour or two after lunch, basically, before and after lunch.
Yeah.
And the lunch hour, of course.
And if you call our phone number, I try to keep the voice message up to date based on the flight schedule. So
good deal.
It'll tell you what time we're open.
So you can kind of check
that's Monday
that
through Saturday.
Very good. So 6 days a week. Of course, if you go to wafbmuseum.org, you can learn more about the schedule and all that good stuff there too as well. www.wafbmuseum.org.
Right.
If you'd like to make a donation too, that's another great way to support. There's that, and of course, if you want to do the Amazon Smile, the museum has that. So you click the link to the Amazon Smile there, and then every time you shop on Amazon, a few pennies of whatever you purchased goes directly to the museum. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and you won't even notice it. And just an easy way to help out the museum a little bit. So,
yeah, we're starting today is a kind of a big day we've been looking forward to. I think after a little training today at 3 o'clock, starting tomorrow, we will be using a credit card machine.
Okay.
And we get a lot of people coming in that don't carry cash.
Sure, we're in a society that's cashless.
Nice caps for sale and stuff. So we're not going to get too much involved probably with, like internet sales, because right now we just barely have enough people to keep the doors open and run that. But if we open it up to, say, like the Facebook that we're talking about, there was like 40,000 SAC people on. If all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of people, that'd be a full-time job.
Yeah, you would.
Shipping out that stuff and trying to keep track of
That's true.
Yeah.
Of course, it could be quite lucrative if.
Yeah, it could be. Get that. Right now, our board members, myself, Allie Bishop's our treasurer, Katie Yates, Sandy Correa, secretary, Bob Donnell, of course, Juliana Halverson, Judy Armstrong, Jerry Cloffer, Friar Jarek Nowacki, Stephen Miller, and Ted Smith, the new volunteer at the museum. He joined us recently. And in absence is still Doug Murray, wants to keep up with what's going on. Joe Murray.
Yeah, well, he's got a bit of a commute to come to meetings now. So,
and our claim to fame is I'm a lot more mature than he is because I was born 13 hours earlier than he was. So we found out we're born almost in the.
You got to hold that over him too. Whenever he gets, now.
Yeah, I told him that, and that's
kids
an old
nowadays.
joke I've said on the radio before that
these kids
I used to
nowadays.
kid him. He's so serious. And I said, I don't know why I feel like I'm more mature than you are. It's kind of hard to say that to a guy that's a retired brigadier general versus measly colonel, but whatever.
This is true. True.
But I said, well, found out that probably we figured maybe about 13, 14 hours I was on the earth running around and wiggling before he was. So.
Yeah, but that's so much more experience.
Oh, I know. True.
I mean, you got 13 hours more of crying, sleeping, pooping. That's a lot of experience.
Too much information.
But if you're looking to get involved and volunteer, there's always as a docents and things,
Absolutely.
or maybe up to serving on
And
the
we're
board.
looking for.
Yeah.
Actually, we have a couple folks that are on the verge of possibly joining us.
Okay, good.
So
more the merrier.
If they do join, I'll mention them next time. But
Good deal. As a matter of fact, I saw Ted at our American Legion meeting last week too, so it was good to see
did you?
Ted.
Oh, okay, good.
So I got a chance to catch up with Ted last week. So, he's if you get to know him, he's a good guy. But in a former life, he did a lot of intel work with the military, and so he's just a good guy to talk to if you want to know about current affairs and things like that. He despite the fact that he's no longer serving in those roles, he keeps his nose to the grindstone. He knows
and
he knows what's going on
when
in
he's
the
not
world.
doing something else or sleeping or eating, he's reading history.
Yeah,
and
he's
mostly military.
Yeah,
history. And
he
now he's
absorbs-
into Roswell.
He
Walker
absorbs
history
copious
stuff.
amounts of information.
Right.
That's what, hence the reason probably why he ended up in Intel.
That's right.
But it was good to see him. So and if you're lucky enough to have him as your docent when you're out there, use him. He's a wealth of information. So.
Yeah, don't ask him too much because he may tell you that if he tells you, he'll have to kill you.
Oh, you don't want that. You don't want that. Although you could probably bribe him with a burrito from the
that's probably
from
true.
the restaurant there.
That's true. Yeah. Hey, let's give just a quick little history before we, suddenly run out of time.
Yeah, sure.
We had a lady come out a couple weeks ago, and she was really interested in seeing some stuff. She actually called ahead and was there, and she said her father was here in about 1962 and was working with the Hound Dog missile, and I wasn't that familiar with it. Shame on me. I should be, because the B-52s here in Roswell were, two of the squadrons were carrying the...
Were they the first aircraft to carry him, or...
B-52s? Yeah.
Or exclusive aircraft to carry him, maybe?
I think so, because they weighed about 12,600 pounds, fully loaded with fuel and everything. Because they had one of the Navy jet fighters as a turbojet hanging underneath it.
Okay.
It wasn't a ramjet, it was a turbojet. And the turbojet was designed to function at like max power settings.
Okay.
And they said the life of that jet engine was only about 6 hours long.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I didn't realize this missile could fly initially at 5,000 feet, because if it launched it, it had to fly at the same altitude. It couldn't, if it came across a mountain, was coming toward them, it'd just fly right in the mountain.
Okay.
Now, later on, they did some modifications to different models of the Hound Dog missile, and it would, kind of follow the terrain more closely.
So it had some kind of guidance.
But it could fly at 56,000 feet at about 2.1 Mach.
Wow.
So, I mean, 2.1 times the speed of sound.
It got fast.
Yeah.
And imagine...
Yeah, it was...
I'm trying to think, a lot of the fighter aircraft, I mean, the Chuck Yeagers of the world were going that fast, but I don't think the typical military aircraft were doing Mach 2 at that point.
No, and they were at that altitude, too, so...
Yeah.
Which I always found that to be surprising. But anyway, yeah. And again, another thing that I found really, I just totally didn't know this. They hung under a pontoon between the fuselage and the first inboard pair of engines. Okay. And once it was on there, they had modifications so that during an alert, which meant, General LeMay wanted, the bombers, B-52s to be off the ground in 15 minutes on notification. And one of the reasons for that was inbound potential ballistic missiles that would obliterate Walker or whatever base you happen to be on, which is not a good thought if you lived in Roswell. But anyway.
Well, that was the Cold War. That was the mindset of the Cold War, yeah.
But they were able to, during takeoff, activate those jet engines as additional thrust.
Okay.
And they could speed away after takeoff from the base that might be obliterated just seconds later,
Okay. Kind of like if you ever watched the Blue Angels air team, I believe the C-130 that accompanies them, I believe it's got the rocket pods on it, so it has a launch assist. Obviously different deal here, but same concept.
Right.
Is using that. That's the other time I've seen it, and I've seen it on C-130s where they use like a rockets to help launch it off to get it up and up quick. So same concept here, but that's the only time and in modern times I still know that they use that kind of stuff. So, but Blue Angels.
After they used that to help it get away from the base as far, get far away as possible, as fast as possible, then it was set up that they could refuel the Hound Dog missile from the fuel that was in the B-52 so that when they did launch it, it had a full load of fuel.
Oh, okay.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
what kind of guidance did it have on there? Do you know? Is it just you planned, or did it use like a radar or heat seeking capability to track a target?
Yeah, I think it had. That's probably what I need. I'll follow on next.
I'm just curious. I'm a weapons guy, so I'm kind of nosy.
It was developed initially because, for example, Moscow had fixed during 1959-60. Fixed, ground to air anti-aircraft missiles.
Okay.
Surrounding, like, for example, Moscow or other targets.
Sure.
So therefore, 52 was going after that target. Was not good having those missiles coming at you. And the Hound Dog was developed to go in and take out those fixed, and they would be clearly seen from satellite photos.
Okay.
Where they were. And
I would imagine it may have had some kind of radar guidance where it could kind of, obviously probably a rudimentary compared to what they're using
today. They had
today.
A range of almost 700 miles.
That's pretty big.
So it's not like they launched it when they were just like 50 miles away.
Sure, yeah.
They launched it pretty far out.
Yeah, they and
they could also launch it against interceptor bases too.
Basically, if we're here, their target's in like Louisiana. That's about that's about where they could have launched it from. From here, shot it here, and it hit Louisiana.
Yeah, you're coming in from White Sands, flying over Roswell. You'd fire it so it would go after, say, Dallas.
Yeah.
Things that were around Dallas. Anyway, you're right.
But just kind of give perspective for people.
Right. But initially, it was called the B-77, and as far as the military designation.
Yeah.
Then it was called the GAM 77. And I was, for a while, trying to figure out, what's it mean, ground to air? No, and it was ground attack missile.
Ground attack missile.
Then it changed to AGM 28.
That's air to ground missile.
Air to ground missile.
Yeah. So AGM, so that was an AGM 88.
AGM 28.
Oh, 28. Okay. Because I dealt with a little bit of AGM 88s in tech school.
Right.
I didn't have a lot of experience with them because I was initially trained on F-16s.
Yeah, AGM 28.
Okay. The F-16 carries a lot more munitions than the aircraft I ended up doing most of my time on. So I didn't deal with them a lot. But, yeah, we dealt with, some of those kind of munitions, the AGM 88s, because F-16 could carry air-to-air or air-to-ground. So.
Right.
Whereas an F-15, for folks who don't know, unless it's an E model, cannot carry air-to-ground munitions.
Yeah.
Okay. What? And so it was a 12,000 pound. Is that what you said it was?
Yeah, it was 12,600 pounds.
That's huge.
Under both, so two of those hanging under the wings. Then, of course, the B-52 would still have, full load of bombs or whatever.
It's almost like carrying a mini jet on the wing.
Yeah. So you can see where it would help to be able to use those turbojets to help you get off the ground and get away from the base.
I think, how heavy is the Moab? It's like 20,000 or something, isn't it? I don't know. The one where they push it out the back of a C-130, the mother of all bombs, the Moab.
Yeah.
I think it's like 20,000 pounds or something like that.
And by the way, this Hound Dog missile was atomic bomb capable, and it had a... supposedly, I was trying to look at it. I couldn't find the exact designation, but it's a W-28, it said. But anyway, it was anywhere from 7 kilotons, 7,000 tons of TNT, equivalent, to 1.2 megaton.
Woo.
And they could apparently adjust it without changing, the warheads. It was kind of a warhead that was adjustable in the yield.
Okay.
And that is huge. It could be a smaller nuclear device, or it could be really huge, 1.2 megatons.
That's going to take out a lot of stuff.
It's like multiple Hiroshimas. So anyway,
that's the thing.
Powerful.
I think people don't realize is the bombs that we dropped on Japan to end World War II. Mm-hmm. In the worlds of nuclear and in that area we're talking about, those are
little baby bombs.
Those are like M&Ms compared to the technology today, and even the technology we're talking about a decade later in the 60s is night and day different. They made major advancements in that technology after the first initial dropping there and everything else. It was it's almost rudimentary. Not that studying atomic energy is rudimentary in every way, shape, or form, but what they were doing in Alamogordo, Los Alamos here, and drop those bombs. They're child's play compared to the stuff they're doing with today as capabilities and it's fire and forget, and you see the evolution right here in Roswell, and with the Walker Aviation Museum and the Atlas, and the Minutemen and the various evolutions of the ballistic missiles, things like that. So
the final thing on the Hound Dog is full operational capability started in around August 1963, and then it lasted and then was removed after around June 30th, 1975.
Okay. So it had quite a big service run.
Yeah. Just again, like I mentioned last month, a good book I'd recommend is Countdown 1945 by Chris Wallace.
Okay.
Published in 2020. But it's starts out X number of days and counting down to dropping Hiroshima's bomb on Hiroshima. But it's very interesting, very easy to read. But it's a little paperback. But Countdown 1945 by Chris Wallace. And it's the #1 bestseller for a while.
Okay, that's worth a check out. I love that. I love, I like history, but I like peeling back the curtain.
Because after that book's all over with, the planes that dropped that bomb returned to Walker.
Sure.
Air Force Base, and came to Roswell. And before that, of course, during World War II, we were training 13,000 bombardiers and advanced pilot training here. So it was kind of a training base to begin with, and then it became a strategic bombing base.
Yeah, that's it. Again, learn more about the history of basically this area's role during World War II and leading up to it, and Walker Aviation Museum and the Air Force Base. played an integral role in that, and you get to learn that through the museum. And that's what, so, come check it out. Come today or come this week if you got some time, come visit. Definitely need to check out the website, wafbmuseum.org. Read up more on, the mission of the Walker Aviation Museum as far as the STEM and history. See stuff available, and then getting more involved too. All at the website there. And
I didn't mention, but shame on me, but earlier. But again, we have to thank for keeping our doors open.
Oh, yes.
Pioneer Bank, Featherstone Development Corporation, Glenn Furniture, Sixth Bomb Wing Reunion Group sent us some money. David Petroleum, Gerald Murray sent us a few pennies. No, he sent us a nice check. So
he's a huge supporter of the museum.
Great supporter.
Both with his time and with his finances.
In past years, and probably in the future, Roswell Toyota, XL Energy, and Dr. Phil Cathy, Paul Engstrom, Lloyd Hughes, Aerosale was a big supporter. So, we're in contact with them, and we're sure they'll be back in helping us out. Steve Griffin donated, and we have a bunch of professional weather equipment that he spent a career doing in the military. And then Steve Griffin, Jim Williams, and Bob Donnell put up a whole pegboards on our reinforced concrete wall so we can move pictures around real quickly and stuff. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
So if you need to change exhibits or, do things.
Correct. Yeah.
You don't feel like breaking your back doing it. Technology is your friend.
That's right. Do that.
And of course, like we said earlier, always looking for people to get involved. If you love the history and love, if you're that type that love to catalog and organize and stuff, there's a lot of things that, donations and things and archiving and all that. You'd be a great asset there. And of course, if you'd like to serve as a docent, or if you'd
Speaking of archiving, we had a lady who wanted some of her stuff back to send to another museum that opened up, and it was we got it temporarily.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of realized that we need to keep better track of us. I was out in the storage site yesterday digging around in some boxes and found 3 or 4 more things so we have, most all of the things that she sent us that we can send back to her to, I think, another museum that's opened up in Georgia where she lives. So.
Oh, cool.
So anyway,
good deal.
Yeah, but anyway, that's
very cool.
A lot of interesting things coming back and forth.
Absolutely. So wafbmuseum.org. Also, Walker Aviation Museum has a Facebook page as well. I encourage you to like and follow that. And Juliana's always posting pictures and things up there. I'm assuming it's her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's our Energizer Bunny. And
posting pictures and everything that are going on. So
good job.
Well, thank you, sir. As
thank
always,
you.
Appreciate the visit. We'll see you here next month. And I know you got a busy day today. Just, one at a time. Take it slow.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure you could get enough free cups of coffee to get you through today.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, I imagine there's a whole slew of people that owe you at least a cup of coffee.
I do have a list. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Robert. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
It is
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The Roswell Police Department honoring many of its members during a February 28th awards ceremony, recognizing a variety of achievements and actions during the past year. Officer Logan Franklin received the Life-Saving Award for responding to a bad crash and providing life-saving aid to a young man. And Officer Gideon Perry also received a life-saving award after reviving a woman who was choking, performing the Heimlich maneuver on her and saving her life. The RPD Officer of the Year award goes to Erica Varela, Dispatcher of the Year, Alfredo Delgado. A Democratic-sponsored voting rights bill aimed at expanding access to the ballot in New Mexico won state Senate approval Wednesday, clearing its last major hurdle in the legislature. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham had expressed support for major provisions in the bill. The 27-14 vote of the Senate was divided along partisan lines, with Republicans in opposition and just one absence. House approval of minor Senate amendments is pending before the governor can sign. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit of morning cloud cover, and then we get sunshine this afternoon as low pressure moves to our north. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 40s. Very warm on Saturday and also very windy. Our afternoon highs in the mid 80s, wind gusting to 35 miles an hour. And then for Sunday, sunny and upper 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Layoffs by U.S. companies over January and February were the highest since 2009, with the tech sector accounting for more than a third of the over 180,000 job cuts announced. General Motors on Thursday said it was offering buyouts for most of its salaried employees and expects to take a pre-tax charge of up to $1.5 billion to cover the costs. General Electric forecasts revenue at its cash cow aviation business to grow by at least low double digits through 2025, sending its shares to levels not seen since 2018. The U.S. Senate confirmed Daniel Werfel to serve as Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service on Thursday by a vote of 54 to 42. Werfel, who pledged before senators not to expand tax audits on businesses and households making less than $400,000 a year, will serve a 5-year term. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The mission of Country Club Road is to know Jesus and make Jesus known. We want to know Jesus better so we can be more like him and be moved to share Jesus with those around us. One of the words we don't often think of when it comes to Jesus is accountability. Jesus always met people where they were, but he always called them to be more than what they were. He called a ragtag bunch of fishermen to follow him so they could be fishers of men. He called a tax collector who cheated his own people and called him to be a disciple. The Jewish leaders were ready to stone a woman caught in adultery, and once he called the leaders out for their hypocrisy, he told the woman to go and sin no more. Peter was one of his apostles in the inner three, but he repeatedly spoke and acted before he thought things through. He even went so far as to deny Jesus 3 times, even after Jesus warned him about his fall. But Jesus forgave him, and Peter became one of the pillars of the early church. He makes the same call to each of us. Let's answer that call.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
If your tires are flat, need your car fixed, our reviews are better than mixed at Big O. At Big O Tires. We do the job fast and with a smile. Whatever the problem, we go the extra mile at Big O. At Big O Tires. Trusted service, no need to lie. Hop online, our reviews are high at Big O. At Big O Tires. Unbeatable service in all our stores, and that's why we get such high scores at Big O. At Big O Tires.
With high customer ratings, you can trust your locally owned Big O Tires. Now through March 26th, buy 3, get 1 free on select in-stock Sumitomo or Cooper branded tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers. At participating locations, no cash value.
At Artesia General Hospital, we want to help you feel better faster. And when prescribed by your provider, IV therapy can be one of the quickest ways to help you feel well again. Our infusion center services include antibiotic or allergen therapies, blood transfusions, and medication infusions for chronic conditions like Crohn's disease and osteoporosis. Whether you choose care at the clinic or hospital, you can expect a highly skilled staff and a private, safe setting with your comfort in mind. Referrals and appointments are required. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/infusion.
Artesia Car Enthusiasts, Artesia Chamber of Commerce, and Artesia Main Street bring you the 24th Annual Main Event Car Show and Cruise 2023. Last year's record number of cars of all ages and sizes is sure to be beaten as we have expanded areas for vehicle display, added more food vendors, tractor row, and even a bike boulevard all downtown. We kick things off Friday, March 31st at 6 p.m. for the Main Street Cruise from Bulldog Bowl to 2nd Street and back. Join us Saturday, April 1st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as Artesia transforms into one of the hottest spots for car enthusiasts, residents, and visitors. Please come together to enjoy a weekend filled with music, cruising, friendly competition, and lots of fun for the whole family. Spectators are always free. For more information or to register your car, go to artesiachamber.com or stop by the office at 107 North 1st Street in Artesia. The Main Event Car Show and Cruise, Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st in downtown Artesia. Ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax. Edge Safety and Services LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screen. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 402 West Main Street inside the Edge Safety and Services facility. Edge Safety and Services LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 56 minutes after 8 o'clock. Got a few minutes here before we get you into news and all of that. Hey, I know there's a lot going on this weekend with lots of events and things around town. One more I want to put on your radar. If you want to get fit, perhaps you've always wanted to try Zumba. Well, everyone is welcomed out to the Roswell Joy Center tomorrow morning for a fundraising event, Val's Zumba Fitness Class. It'll be happening tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Joy Center, 1822 North Montana. The cost of the class is just a donation at the door. If whatever you can afford, awesome. Be great. If you can't afford much, no biggie. Come on out and have some fun doing Zumba. Valerie Solis Ramirez will be the instructor. And again, the class will be happening tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. to 11 at the Roswell Joy Center, 1822 North Montana. Cost is a donation at the door. For questions, you can reach out to 575-914-0285. Again, that's 575-914-0285. But get on out there and get some Zumba in and all of that good stuff. Hey, next week, Tuesday, March 14th, the Roswell Chaves County Economic Development Corporation, the RCC EDC, they're having a Roswell Chaves County hiring event next Tuesday, March 14th. It's going to be at the Roswell Convention Center from 3 to 7 p.m. I am not sure but if they have booths available still, but if you're a job seeker, definitely want to dress for success, get your resumes put together, and be ready to be hired on the spot for different clients, various clients through city, county, private industry, all around the area here. If you have questions, more information, I imagine if you'd like to see if you can get in on the job fair as a business or a hiring person, then reach out to the EDC at 575-622-1975. Again, that's 575-622-1975, or you can shoot an email, info@chavezcounty.net, info@chavezcounty.net. But again, their big hiring event on Tuesday, March 14th, 3 to 7 p.m. at the Roswell Convention Center, 912 North Main, next Tuesday. So for folks looking for work, things like that, definitely want to get your resumes in. Don't forget also, Historical Society is still taking applications to the end of March for the Linda Hayes Trust for those scholarships. High school seniors and a college student will be awarded various scholarships. Go to roswellnmhistory.org to get applications and to get everything turned back in before the deadline, which is March 31st. Again, roswellnmhistory.org. Learn more there, or call the Historical Society, 575-622-8333 for more information. All right, we are closing in on 9 o'clock. Time for some town hall news. Tracy Fry with the Roswell Public Library will join us next hour. Stay tuned. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Speculation, the latest jobs report could prompt more aggressive interest rate hikes by the Fed. American employers added 315,000 jobs last month. It was a surprisingly strong showing. Another atmospheric river is bringing torrential rain to California. North Central California, buried in feet of snow in recent weeks, is under flood warnings, while flood watches have been posted to the south. A deadly mass shooting in Germany.
Emergency vehicles rushed to the scene Thursday evening of a 3-story building next to an auto repair shop a few miles from downtown Hamburg. Police believe the shooter is among the 8 dead. They're not sure how many people were wounded.
Correspondent Donna Waters says the attack occurred at a Jehovah's Witnesses hall. Republicans of the House say energy tops their agenda for this Congress.
The party will focus on H.R. 1, or the Lower Energy Cost Act, which includes various energy components. One portion focuses on increasing the speed of energy and mining projects. The bill also is expected to include measures to protect fracking and remove restrictions on natural gas imports and exports. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Americans for Tax Reform putting President Biden's budget proposal under the microscope. It finds the blueprint includes almost $4.7 trillion in new taxes on individuals and businesses. No injuries this morning when a small fire broke out in the basement of the Eisenhower Executive Office Building. That's right next door to the White House. The fire department in D.C. says it was a fire in a cooling motor in the building's basement. Again, no injuries, but workers were evacuated for a time. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 45 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
In Paris with French President Macron in efforts to mend fences following post-Brexit tensions. The BBC's Hugh Schofield in Paris.
It's a question of resetting a relationship which went very badly wrong 4 or 5 years ago, and which the French agree with the British is in desperate need of just returning to what it should always have been. The relationship is vital because we cooperate in so many different ways, of trade, but also defense, security, energy. Both countries will be looking for tighter cooperation on nuclear power, renewables. So in all sorts of areas, if there isn't cooperation between Britain and Europe, it's felt.
Poland's lawmakers approving a new law relaxing the rules for installation of onshore wind turbines, a move that was urged by the European Union. The law still requires approval, though, of the Polish president. News and analysis, townhall.com. California Attorney General Rob Bonta is suing Huntington Beach, hoping to force a residential building boom.
Bonta asked a judge on Thursday to force the seaside city to comply with state law requiring it to build more housing. City officials later filed their own lawsuit in federal court. The city's asking a judge to block the state from forcing it to build more homes. City officials say the new homes would transform their suburban community into an urban one. State officials say California needs 2.5 million new homes by 2030 to keep up with demand. The state builds about 125,000 homes each year. Keith Peters reporting.
American Airlines promising significant pay raises to its pilots to match a recent deal at Delta Airlines. American CEO says he's ready to give pilots raises and higher retirement contributions that would average 40% over a span of 4 years. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tracy Biernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. That's right. Drink it in.
Yes, it always goes down smooth.
It sure does. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a delightful and amazing day.
Yeah.
If not, it's only 9:06.
Still early. Lots and lots of ways to make it better. I'll tell you one real quick, almost surefire way to make it a better day. A little bit of this in your
little golden arches.
A little bit of the Mickey.
Yeah.
Slip yourself a Mickey.
Where's that marketing campaign?
Right? Exactly.
Definitely. Big thank you to McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday. Provide us with delicious breakfast treats. I haven't noticed the bag today.
A couple hash browns, a couple sandwiches.
Been content with my beverages.
Yeah.
But I'm not much of a morning eater. I never usually am.
Yeah. I will say I'm not a huge breakfast guy. I mean, McDonald's breakfast is phenomenal, but when it comes right down to breakfast foods, I'm not crazy about them.
See, I'm the opposite.
Really?
I love breakfast foods.
Okay.
Love them. Eggs, bacon.
Right.
I'll eat them for dinner. I'll eat them anytime.
I love a
of the
good
day.
Brenner too. Don't get me wrong. But it's just like I have to. I'm more in a mood to eat like I'm weird though. I'm more in a mood to eat like a bowl of mac and cheese in the morning. You know.
I like to eat eggs with weird meats. Not like squid or nothing, but like chicken.
Okay.
Like to me, chicken and eggs going together is delightful.
Sure.
But people don't put those together. Like
They
I
don't
had
tend to. Which is ironic if you think about it.
I got a chicken fajita omelet the other day. Delightful. Delightful. Eggs and chicken. You know, it's great. I don't care that one made the other. Don't matter to me.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I guess if you feel like weird about it, you could replace it with like a duck egg or a ostrich egg.
A goose.
That's on my bucket list.
Ostrich egg?
I want to do an ostrich egg.
So I've heard that every ostrich egg has, I think it's like 18 yolks
it's a
or
huge
18
egg,
eggs worth of eggs.
Yeah. So I'd need help probably.
Yeah.
But I want to try
be down,
ostrich egg.
for sure.
I'd like you know, just like because the few times I've seen it served, they like serve it like on a pizza tray, and it was this huge ostrich egg, and then they put like a pound of bacon and sausage and hash brown. It was like one of those man versus food challenges.
Sure.
But oh man, I just want to try out. I actually kind of want to cook one.
One of the cool parts about getting into like certain YouTube channels is if you find out about things. Like I watch this channel Mythical Kitchen, and they made something with an ostrich egg, and they actually went to an ostrich farm to get the egg. Like they sent the guy into the pen to get the egg. Ostriches are very territorial.
I was about to say
birds.
they can be ornery.
They're very ornery, and they don't like you messing with their eggs.
I would imagine. Well, most mama
So they
don't like
sent this guy in there with like a helmet and like a chest pad because they said, the ostriches, they'll kick.
Was it Johnny Knoxville going to get the egg?
No, it was this dude Josh, but he's got a football helmet and then like a chest protector on, because they were talking about the talons, and they said if these ostriches kick, they can like go through like a steel plate. He's like, I'm wearing a plastic chest protector. And then they got the egg, but the way you have to like use a hammer and a chisel to like crack through the shell.
I kind of, that's one of the other parts. I kind of want to crack it,
the
and open it.
dinosaurness of it all.
Like I just want like a giant pan and just crack that egg and dump it in there and scramble it up. That seems fun to me.
Right.
I might need a griddle instead of a pan. It'd have to be a big pan. But
this is probably going to get me into some trouble. I've always been weirdly wanting to taste an eagle egg.
Yeah, you probably can't do that.
You can't.
I feel like that's illegal.
Can I tell you why?
Because you want to be tough? I don't know.
No. The movie Almost Heroes.
Okay.
With Chris Farley and Matthew Perry.
I'm trying to remember. I remember vaguely, but I don't remember the scene.
In the movie, Matthew Perry gets incredibly sick. The Indian shaman that they have with them says, I can heal him, but I need the egg of an eagle. And Chris Farley goes on this journey to find an eagle egg. He climbs this tree. He finds a nest full of eggs.
Vaguely remember that.
He gets the egg. He falls out of the tree. He picks himself up, and then he's like, okay, guys, got the egg. But then he gets hungry, and so he makes himself a thing of scrambles the egg. He's like, oh. And then he does the whole thing again, and then he finally gets attacked by the eagle. eventually he gets one egg back to Matthew Perry. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, it's 18 years old. He gets one egg back to the shaman, and she goes, thanks. And she cracks it and drains the egg part out. She goes, I only needed the shell. Later
and Farley does Farley.
He goes, could have told me that at the beginning, but all right.
Yeah, I've always wanted. I'd like just the whole pouring of a big egg onto a griddle and then just moving the egg around to scramble it. That seems kind of satisfying to me.
Big chopsticks.
Yeah, it just seems fun. Seems like something I want to try.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, so
for sure.
Until we can get ostrich eggs here, please visit McDonald's.
They got regular eggs.
And just get a lot of them if you need something that big.
That's
right. Although, maybe that's the bucket list.
Get a McGriddle with 18 eggs.
I love an Egg McMuffin with an ostrich egg. I always go big. I want to get a big giant English muffin, a big old slab of Canadian bacon, a cheese. I want it all giant size too, and I want to see an Egg McMuffin that's approximately the size of a
that's why I'm going to send you.
Pickup.
I'm going to send you a link to this fancy fast food series that I watch, because everything they end up making that's like $300 versions of whatever is like this big compared to like this big version of whatever. They don't mean to do it that way.
It just ends up.
Things end up.
But I think
bigger.
with an ostrich egg, you kind of got to go. But yeah, just picture this literally hubcap size Egg McMuffin. I wonder how you achieve the egg white with the omelet. Like you'd have to make with the ostrich egg, you'd have to do that white.
Mold.
Yeah. Oh, man, I would love to make this happen.
Yeah.
Any crazy chefs out there want to do that? We'll give you some shine on the radio. Make a giant ostrich egg McMuffin.
Any whack job. I'm fully willing to commit payola. right here now.
No, we're just gonna do it and have a bid on the radio with it. That's all. If you got a business, hey, buy one ad.
Yeah.
One ad, like $5.
One commercial.
Then we'll do it.
And then we'll go to the moon for you.
Yeah. Or maybe McDonald's can do it. Anybody over there, scientists over there listening? Work
it's
on one
just
for me.
35 cents more, and look at all you get.
Exactly. I do. I mean, it just sounds, that sounds heavenly, just to try that. But in the meantime, I got to get the regular size ones from McDonald's, which don't forget, Egg McMuffin cold at lunch is just as good as Egg McMuffin hot in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Is our guest here? Good. All right. Well, I'll shut my hole.
No, it's literally just since I was a kid, I watched that movie Almost Heroes, and the way he makes in the skillet that he has, he kills a pig, and he's like, well, I have this bacon. And then he's like, oh, I need to eat an egg with the bacon, so he makes bacon and eggs. And the way it makes it look in the pan, it just looks so appetizing.
Oh, yeah.
And he's sitting there with a spatula eating it, and then he cries. It's just funny.
I haven't seen the movie in years. I might go check it out at some point here. I have to get on. I did check out some of the History of the World Part 2.
I need to see that. I need to check some of that out.
It's sketch comedy.
Right.
But it does follow, so they kind of follow a different, like the Civil War, the Russian Revolution, Jesus.
Oh, so I was going to say, it stays on a timeline, so no.
Well,
not exactly.
Sort of.
Right.
I mean, basically, each episode, I've watched like 2 or 3 episodes now.
Mm-hmm.
So they follow like 4 or 5 different stories, but so like you get a bit, like a 2-minute sketch with Lincoln and Civil War, and then they cut to the Russian Revolution. And then maybe later in the episode, they go back to the Civil War, and then it carries on to the next episode. But it's all a continuous story in each vein.
Right.
But it's like watching 3 different sketches or 4 different stories at one time, just kind of going back and forth like a soap opera or something.
Yeah.
So that's what it's like. So
I'm definitely going to check it out.
It got me out right out the gate because it's Mel Brooks is involved. Mel Brooks is
he's not known to be a pull your punches type of guy.
Yeah.
A lot of people say you can't make a Mel Brooks movie today.
Well, I would say yes and no. Like it's some tamer, just a smidge maybe.
Okay.
But there are some lines that are very reminiscent of the Mel Brooks movies and things. What made me laugh right out the gate was Mel Brooks talking about, well, they've been trying to get me for years to do History of the World Part 2 and all this, and I only agreed to do this if they can make me look like the 1981 version of me. And so they had a virtual like they did with and it's so funny. He looks all it looks like Putin up there talking, but with Mel Brooks' voice. And he's just,
that's funny. So they did like the de-aging, like in the Irishman.
And that's the only time you see Mel Brooks is at the very beginning when they show him in his young version, looking like Vladimir Putin shirtless all.
That's pretty good.
And then but he does narrate each episode and does all of that, and then it's got who's who of comedic actors.
Everybody I've seen is from the trailer alone. It looks like just everybody.
Like I've seen the first couple episodes, and Jack Black just popped in as a cameo.
He's kind of everywhere right now too.
Yeah.
He's having a resurgence.
But there's a ton of people, and like there's. Something like Danny DeVito's in it for just briefly, you know
who I weirdly have been seeing in like everything lately is Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that.
Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
She's in everything lately.
Well, I think she's getting a big run on
she's on
that HBO show,
White Lotus.
Yeah, White Lotus.
Yeah, she's on White Lotus. She's she popped up in this movie I was just randomly watching called Shotgun Wedding. Jennifer Lopez movie.
That's the one that's on Prime right now. Yeah.
She had a couple of commercials that came out just recently for something. I can't remember what.
Yeah, she does like T-Mobile or one of those.
But she just everywhere I look, she's just popping up on stuff.
Her and Shaq, man.
Killer agents.
Maybe that's the next generation. We got Snoop and Martha. Shaq and Jennifer Coolidge.
So it's Shaq and Stifler's mom. I like it.
Why not? That's the next
Shaq
next
mom.
pairing I think we should go with. All right. Tracy's been patiently waiting in the other room, so let's go ahead and start talking our tomfoolery and get you up to date on the weather. Tracy Fry with the Roswell Public Library will join us in a bit, but first, here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit of morning cloud cover, and then we get sunshine this afternoon as low pressure moves to our north. We'll be in the upper 60s to low 70s and a little bit breezy. Partly cloudy overnight with upper 40s. Very warm on Saturday and also very windy. Our afternoon highs in the mid 80s, wind gusting to 35 miles an hour. And then for Sunday, sunny and upper 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 48 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 77%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 13 miles per hour. We do have a cloudy morning, but gradually becoming sunny today. Expect highs in the mid-70s, 76 officially with south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight. Expect an overnight low of 48 degrees with southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny and 84. Going to be warm, but it's going to be windy too. Winds will be out of the west early, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Later in the day, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. Saturday night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 49 degrees. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny, highs back into the mid-70s with west winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, when you head back to work and school, 68 for a high under sunny skies, and then mid-70s Tuesday, back in the 80s on Wednesday, and a little rain talk on Thursday. Just a little, though. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Tracy Fry with the Roswell Public Library will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
If your tires are flat, need your car fixed, our reviews are better than mixed at Big O. At Big O Tires. We do the job fast and with a smile. Whatever the problem, we go the extra mile at Big O. At Big O Tires. Trusted service, no need to lie. Hop online, our reviews are high at Big O. At Big O Tires. Unbeatable service in all our stores. That's why we get such high scores at Big O. At Big O Tires.
With high customer ratings, you can trust your locally owned Big O Tires. Now through March 26th, buy 3, get 1 free on select in-stock Sumitomo or Cooper branded tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers. At participating locations, no cash value.
This country can sure be windy in the springtime, and we all know the best thing about wind is when it stops.
Well, your friends at Roswell Ford can't do anything about the wind, but we can sure help you find the right car or truck. Roswell Ford has the biggest selection of nice pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico. Each one carefully inspected and backed with a 3-day money-back guarantee. We also have brand new Fords arriving almost every day, so you'll want to check with us frequently to be sure you don't miss something. And when your vehicle needs service, remember that Roswell Ford offers free pickup and delivery, so you don't have to get out in the wind. Or the Roswell Ford mobile service van can come to you and take care of most routine maintenance at your house or where you work. So whether you're shopping for a new vehicle or taking care of the one you have, you can't do better than Roswell Ford, the tailgate nation, at the corner of 9th and Main. Come see us, but remember to hang on to your hat and don't let that car door get away from you.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Edge Safety and Services LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screen. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 402 West Main Street inside the Edge Safety and Services facility. Edge Safety and Services LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Public Library, Tracy Fry back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good. How about you?
Good, good. Ready for the weekend? Of course, you usually work during the weekend.
I'll be working on Sunday this weekend.
So
yes.
you got a day off tomorrow to kick back and sleep in. And
you mean cut the grass that's starting to grow?
Do you get to? I'm curious. Do you get to read in your downtime, or is it? Because I know you love to read. You're a librarian. Right. I mean, I've never met a librarian that doesn't love to read. But like, do you find yourself now? You're like, man, I don't have as much time to sit down and just devote time to a book because I'm busy doing, taking care of life and then going to work.
Actually, since I feel, this is my personal opinion, there's nothing on TV. So when I come home, I'll watch I Love Lucy for a little bit, and then I'll go and get my book and I'll read.
So you go a little old school, get something that feel good, and then you're like, all right, now my brain's kind of, I cleanse the palate, and now I can sit down and enjoy my book here.
So I read almost every night.
Okay, good for you. I wish I need to be more dedicated about that, because I like reading, but then life happens and I get distracted, and then I'm like, oh, and then I got a stack of books that becomes a mile long, and it's like, one of these days I'm going to get to read none of those, but once in a while, a book will show up that I'm just like, I can't wait. I'm going to get, and so then I cut into it and start reading it. It'll jump the list, but but that's just me.
Yeah.
Of course, folks, one of the greatest treasures we have in town is the Roswell Public Library. You have the world is your oyster, and it's all available to you free of charge.
Yes.
All you need to do is get your butt on down there and get you a library card, and if you already got one, utilize it.
Yes.
And then turn your stuff in on time to avoid any kind of late fees.
Exactly.
Which is, and that's, and here's the cool part, and we'll talk more about this. If you're kind of old school thinking like me, and you're just like books and, all that, the library has you can, in theory, have a library card in good standing, get access to so many things and never technically set foot in the actual library.
Right.
And don't do that. That's not because you're missing a bunch of cool stuff in the library. But that being said, there's so many resources available to you online. Like if you're wanting audiobooks, if you're wanting tutoring for the kids or for yourself, if you want availability to periodicals and things like that, all of that's available free of charge with the library card. You go to the website, you'll find the links to download and do everything you need there. And all. And if you have questions, you can always call a library, and they'll be happy to navigate you through some of that.
Correct.
So another advantage to having that library card is is a bunch of, because we live in a world, you travel, and we'll get more, but like you can travel, and sometimes you're like, I don't have time to read, but boy, howdy, I'd love an audiobook for my 3-hour trip to Albuquerque. Well, come on down. We got you covered. So that's the beauty of it. Now, that being said, now that you've done all the stuff online, there's a bunch of events pretty much every week going on in the library as far as, weekly events to special one-time only type events. And we got a slew of those coming up here in the next couple weeks here too. So go online and do all that, but then get yourself in the library for some of these fun events, especially if you got kids. There's so many great opportunities for your children to get interactive with other kids and of course learn and learn some of the things that sometimes school doesn't teach, or sometimes you can't. A lesson you can't demonstrate very well just at home with the family. You need other people to help with that. And library helps with all that.
Right.
I guess probably should shut my hole and let you get started with some of the events and things we got coming up.
Well, today we're going to have from 10 to 12:30. We're going to have Humana there, and they're just offering
healthcare
questions, answering questions.
Gotcha. So I imagine that this is probably for anybody, but I imagine seniors, particularly if you have Medicare, those kind of questions, the Humana folks can kind of navigate you through that stuff too. So it doesn't matter who you are. If you've got healthcare questions, issues, trying to sign up for plans or any of that kind of stuff, the Humana folks, what time are they going to be here today?
They'll be here from 10 a.m. to 12:30.
Okay, so the pre-lunch.
This morning, yeah.
So come on down, and then probably if you have any paperwork or anything that might be useful to explain your scenario, bring that with you to help them navigate that and help you a little better. So.
Correct.
Good deal. So that's today, 10:30 to 12:30.
10 to
12:30. I'm sorry, at the library.
Yes.
Here. So good deal. All right. What's next?
So tomorrow we're gonna have Tetra Truck. We have the sanitation department bringing over 3 trucks.
Okay.
So if your little one is fascinated by big trucks,
or the big little one,
you can come too. Mike, you're more than welcome.
There's a certain thing about a certain, I say it's guys, but it's not always guys. I've seen quite a few women are gearheads too. There's a certain breed of people out there that, the bigger and louder, the cooler it is. And it is. So, So, yes, thank God for kids, because they give us an excuse to check this stuff out too.
Okay.
Just maybe try to act a little mature when you're walking around. Just don't scream and hoop and holler and everything. Just
try to hold it in.
Contain yourself just a bit.
Just a bit. But they will be there tomorrow, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
Cool.
And we'll have the trucks will be in our south parking lot, and we're going to also have a book giveaway for those children that come and check out the trucks.
Nice.
We're going to also have. We're supposed to have snow cones also.
Okay.
So.
And then, of course, since sanitation's there should be plenty of places to deposit your snow cone paper when you're done.
It shouldn't be on the ground.
Exactly. Yes. Don't litter in the city or in the sanitation department. I'm sure they're going to have some trash cans available.
Yeah.
But come on out and see. What time does that all start tomorrow?
That starts 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
10 to 12 tomorrow. Come on out, so if you're out about running your errands or things, swing on by, bring the kids, and have them take a look at the trucks. Probably talk to some of the drivers and some of the folks, and ask about the bells and whistles and things. And then, by all means, make sure your kids get a book, and come on, there's snow cones. You can't leave without having a snow cone.
Exactly. And
by the way, if you're on a diet, snow cones at events like this, the calories don't count.
Okay.
Only if you eat them there. If you take it home, it counts double. Fair is the same way. You can eat all the fair food you want at the fair, no calories. But if you leave the fairgrounds with it, then it doubles. That's just the rules on that. So.
Well, thank you for clearing that up. I always wondered about that.
It's science. It's science.
Okay.
Good deal. So, come out tomorrow and hang out and have some snow cones.
Yes, it's come and go. So, you can just come anytime between 12
you don't have to be there right at 10. You can come anytime between 10 and noon tomorrow.
Right.
Cool. Very good.
Okay, for Sunday, we're going to have our flamenco dancer from the New Mexico Humanities Council.
Okay.
And so we're going to have a young lady there. She's going to be discussing flamenco and demonstrating it also. And that's Sunday at 2:30.
Okay. And that's Spain Spanish, the flamenco dancing. That's the Spaniards.
Yeah.
They brought that with their culture. Mm-hmm. It's there's a lot of symbolism from what I understand. Like I've seen some of the flamenco dancing, and we think of the dresses and the shells and all that, but which is all beautiful and pageantry, but there is some actual history and there's some meaning in the moves. Like some of the things they do, it symbolizes things. There's meaning behind it. It's not just you up there
making noise and
get your groove on and having fun. I mean, it's fun and doing all that, and that's part of what you're supposed to do. But but there's so much culture and history in the flamenco dance that it's steeped in tradition. It's not like the robot or something that just you know what I mean. It's like some guy on a dance floor got drunk and made this move one day. But,
and we've been doing it ever since.
But so please come learn the culture and come and come have some fun. And sounds like this will be good for the kids and for the adults. Right. It sounds like so.
Yes, and then the children, if you bring your children and you think your children might not be too interested in it, we'll have a little craft for them to do while you're listening and watching the young lady perform.
I bet just my experience with flamenco dancing, the kids are gonna be like, you know what I mean, deer in headlights, like whoa, because of the noise and the pageantry and the flowing dresses. And there's a lot visually to take in, so I think the kids will be just as enamored and interested as the adults will be. But what time Sunday does that start?
It's going to be from 2:30 to 3:30.
This Sunday at the Roswell Public Library.
Yes.
Do they need to sign up or anything?
No, just show up.
And this one's probably when you want to be there on time for, because it's more
she's going to start at 2:30.
Yeah, it's not a come and go event. It's a performance / demonstration / educational performance.
Right.
Good deal. What's next?
Okay, so on the 15th, we're going to have at 3 o'clock, we're going to have 4-H coming through.
Oh, great.
They come in once
They do
a
their
month.
monthly, they actually have two, don't they? They have like their gardening, which is, it's not 4-H, it's the extension office.
Right.
It's kind of the different name, same family.
Exactly. Well, this Wednesday, they're going to be, the 15th, at 3 o'clock, they're going to be creating a picture frame.
Okay.
And using it's a complete and upcycle project.
Okay, so taking things that were destined for the sanitation department will now be turned into art or some kind of functional thing.
So you're trying to say that the cones.
There we go. Maybe we can save some of that and use it for 4-H then. Hey, that's upcycling right there.
There you go.
By the way, have y'all ever priced upcycled art? By the way,
it's pretty pricey. Yes.
Yeah, but obviously, I think you do have to build a reputation to get the kind of money.
Right.
But once you do, they're paying thousands of dollars for some of this artwork, and it was literally stuff they pulled out of a dumpster,
Exactly.
and that's to me, that's I love that concept. Sure that you can find someone who's willing to pay that. God bless you, but I do like the fact that they're saying, look, there's this old lamp or there's this old clarinet or something, and we're able to repurpose it into something not only pretty but functional too, and that's good.
Yeah.
So I love furniture, like when they make upcycled furniture out of stuff. Like I've seen a couple lamps that were made out of like an old saxophone and and like it's really cool how they do that. I've seen like some even more exotic things. Like someone made a whole purse out of those little soda on the soda can tabs. And I imagine it took thousands of hours to string all that together. And it's probably not the most comfortable purse to walk around with. But I appreciate the art behind it and appreciate in the novelty of it. But anyway, come out with 4-H and learn some of that. And who knows?
And the school gets out early. The elementary schools get out early
on that Wednesday. On Wednesday.
So that's why they're always there at once a month. I believe it's always the third Wednesday at 3.
And just warning,
show up.
2-minute warning. Your third Wednesday is this upcoming Wednesday.
Exactly.
And come on out, like you said. What do you recommend age-wise for kids on this one?
It's mostly for elementary age.
Okay, maybe a 6th grader or 2, but mostly like first or second through 5th grade, maybe.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. But and like you said, every third Wednesday of the month they're out at the library there too. So good deal. What's next?
So on Thursday the 16th, we're going to have our book club.
Okay.
It's the adult book club, which is and we're going to be reading Z for Zachariah, which is a young adult book. But it's about we had a nuclear war, and this one person sees someone coming, and she's a little concerned about this person because she hasn't seen people in a long time.
So it's kind of a post-apocalyptic,
Exactly.
that feel last person on Earth type of story. So,
Exactly.
Very cool. Okay. Now this one, this is you've been talking about this one for about a month or so now.
Right.
The actual meeting will be next Thursday.
Right.
So if you haven't read the book yet, you still got just under a week to get her done.
Yep.
You can swing by the library; they've got copies there.
Yes, we do.
And you can get. And then we'd love to have you come on Thursday and talk about this. Is if you've never done book club or book discussion before, I love it because for readers, people that like to read, it's easy to get niched, stuck in niches, stuck in your comfort zone on reading certain types of books or certain authors. And this forces you to branch out there, and it forces you to maybe read something that you would have normally never picked for yourself. And then you're going to turn out, wow, there was a lot more here than I or maybe not, but that's the beauty of a book club is you get to experience that. But then you get a chance to hear other people that read the exact same thing that you did, and you're going to find out that they didn't interpret some of the things the way you interpreted it. And that's and now you get to see perspective, and you get to see, okay, a little thought, and you're thinking, all right, if I was that character in the story, I was looking at it this way. I never thought to think of them thinking it this way, and that's really where book club comes and thrives, and ideally, hopefully, make a few friends, and maybe and next thing you know, you guys, not outside of the regular library book club, you're kind of starting your own little mini book clubs and things too, and that's the idea, is to spread the bug to get more people to read and get more people involved. And so if you're looking, it sounds like this is a good one to get involved with because it's a nice nonfiction story or fiction story. I'm sorry, a nice fiction story that it's not
heavy.
not heavy or political or divisive. You know what I mean? It's something that you're like, okay, it's a cool story. Let's talk about it. It's not something that serious. It's kind of more of an enjoyable romp read than a thought-provoking read. Although you can, based on the emotions and stuff you're going to evoke, because that's what you do as readers. You always put yourself in the scenarios, and you wonder how you would react in these if you were the character. And so
you start questioning, why did the character do that?
Exactly, and that's where the book discussion really helps. So please come out next Thursday. What time is that?
That's at 1 o'clock.
1 p.m.
Yes,
and please come. Already read the book.
Yes.
Because we're going to talk about the book.
Yes.
So if you haven't read the book yet, you need to get the book and read it before you come out. Otherwise.
And we're open all weekend, so you can come get the book anytime.
Come on down and just allow yourself enough time to get it all read between now and Thursday. So.
Yeah, I think it's a little over 200 pages. So it's
not that big of a book.
No.
Yeah, very good. And like you said, it is kind of geared to young adults. So I imagine it's probably a faster read.
Yes, it is.
It's like Harry Potter. I mean, Harry Potter is not meant for adults, but
we sit there and read it
anyway. I would argue more adults have read that book than children, probably. Or at least some of the books. Yeah, we've all, but it reads in that same easy flow, and kind of you get wrapped up into the story kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
What's next?
So next Saturday, the 18th, we're going to have gardening in the library.
Okay.
The master gardener is going to come, and they're going to discuss composting. And
is this through the extension office?
Correct.
Drew
will not be there.
He's bringing his experts in to do this.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah, Drew, we have him on the show here. By the way, if you have any questions about commercial gardening, private gardening, don't hesitate to call the extension office and ask for Drew. And that way, if you can't wait between now and the next gardening class at the library, you can get your questions, especially if you do things like say if you have pecans, you need to see if they got the weevils in there and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Drew's all that guy, but the organization will be out on Saturday for their monthly, and they come the third Saturday every month.
They come the third Saturday, correct?
Good deal. What time is that one?
That's from 10 to 11.
Okay. And what's the subject again?
It's composting.
So if you want to learn, because we are kind of getting into that spring, and so if you always wanted to do your own composting, you're like, man, I keep going to the landfill, but everyone gets all the compost before I get a chance.
Right.
I don't think that's hard. They have a big pile of it. But if you always want, or if you're saying, you know what, I'd like to start, I mean, orange peels, and I got all this stuff. Let me find out how to turn this into compost.
Exactly.
And do it in a way that's not going to stink up my house and do all the things that they
draw
can
all
have.
the critters into the yard.
Inviting every foreign creature known to man out here. Yeah. So But yeah, it's and that way you got your steady supply there anytime you need it, and again getting back to upcycling and recycling.
There we go.
Keeping that stuff out of the landfill and getting it back into the soil and repurposing it for good things that's a good idea. So,
yes,
love it. All right, what's next?
And also on the 18th, that Saturday, we're going to have a STEM class. It's called Tinker CAD, and that's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
And it's just it's a science. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing.
Sounds like they're probably doing a lot of engineering type stuff.
Right.
They're going to be, a lot of working, with little tools and nuts. If you love to build things or tear things apart, this is probably a class you'll be into.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, and it's a come and go event. So it's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
And they can just show up on the 18th and bring your children just to
Good deal.
get them out of the house for a couple of minutes.
Again, is it geared probably elementary age students that, if you bring your high school or later middle school, probably a little too immature for them.
They might enjoy it, but it's more geared.
Right. The projects are geared for smaller hands.
Right. Exactly.
Perfect.
Yes.
What's next?
So then on the 25th, the following Saturday, we're going to have board games at the library at 11 a.m.
Cool.
And
so probably your classics out there. Sorry,
Exactly.
Clue, maybe
Don't
Monopoly.
break the ice.
Yeah, Monopoly is probably really hard because that game never is short.
Right.
Risk and Monopoly are games that can take days. So
we have Monopoly game, but I noticed some of the families will get it, but they'll just play for a short period of time.
Sure, like a quick game.
Right. But
Do you have the Game of Life? Is that game still around? You remember that game?
Yeah, I remember that. I'm trying to think, do we have it? I'm not sure if we have it or not. I know we have a lot of classics, but that one I'm not too sure about.
Because you can never keep the little pegs of the people, the pink and blue pegs in the
Yes.
cars. They were always lost.
Oh, boy.
I had my Game of Life, and it's like, we can't play anymore. I don't have enough pink pegs. Sorry.
It's time for it to be upcycled.
That's right. Time to repurpose this thing. But, so come out and make family afternoon and have fun and play games and, an opportunity to do family bonding without the aid of electricity.
Exactly.
Unless you do it at night and you need lights. But during the day, you'll be good to go. And come out, play board games. It's great for kids because the kids, again, they learn. This is how you learn critical thinking skills, by strategizing and doing some of the things that you have to do in these various board games,
And, that week is the school's out for spring break.
For spring break, okay.
So by that Saturday, they might need something.
You're good and ready to get them out of the house for a little bit and all that stuff. So good deal. So come on out during spring break and let the kids, family play some board games.
Yes.
All right.
And on the 19th, I missed this one.
Okay.
Sunday the 19th at 3 p.m. we're doing Crochet Club. So
okay. And that's their monthly
they've
meeting.
been trying to come twice a month now.
Oh, good.
So every other Sunday.
Good for them. So it must mean they're getting more popular and getting bigger projects, one of the two.
I think it's just more people are coming.
Good.
So.
That's the idea. We want to get more people and
Right. So if you want to get out on Sunday for an hour or so and just try crocheting, come on over to the library.
Once you get the hang of it,
yes,
you'll never have to pay for a Christmas gift ever again. You can make them all, and whether it's Afghans or hats or mittens or something a little more elaborate, whatever you can do. Like the bedspreads my mom used to make. I've talked about these 100 times, but that stuff's
on cold nights, you're glad you have those.
Well, and to be honest, not to get all weepy here, but that's like I have some keepsakes from my mom, but most of what I have is a memory of my mother is things she made, crochet,
right?
Afghans and pillows and pot holders and things. So, for me, it's a constant reminder. Mom's hanging out. It was anytime I see a blanket on the thing, or I open up the kitchen thing and there's a couple of mom's pot holders sitting in there. That to me is the cool part. But and so I would love to maybe have some other families adopt the crocheting and maybe have the pleasant memories that I have. And don't be like my mom. You could actually sell this stuff and make money. My mom hoarded it all and gave it away, or you know what I mean? She never sold any of it. She probably, I could have had nicer Nikes, just saying, when I was a kid.
Okay. Instead, you got the pot holder.
That's right. I got the Maypops. I'm sure kids like Maypops. I've never heard that term. What's that term? It was what we called cheap shoes back in the 80s.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay, on the 26th, which is the last Sunday in March, we're going to have, at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a family craft. We've been doing that, and that's been kind of popular.
Awesome.
This month we're gonna do tiny towel coasters. So we're gonna make coasters out of these little tiny towels.
Nice. Okay.
This past month we did. It was sand art, and I was surprised that the families that actually came and participated, because it was just like peeling off the sticky area on this picture and then putting the sand. And the kids really enjoyed it. The parents even enjoyed it. So that was great.
Probably cathartic.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just peaceful, relaxing, and I'm guessing the coasters are probably going to be the same way, just you cutting and shaping and decorating and getting it the way you want it. And
exactly.
It's just that's kind of your escape for things. So if you want to do some arts and crafts and make mom happy by adding some coasters to the to the family,
there you go.
Because mom's always yelling, "Put that on a coaster!" Now you're like, "Here, mom, I made one at the library." Right?
That's right. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. We also received from the New Mexico Department of Cultural Affairs these coloring books.
Okay.
And I'm not sure when exactly we're giving them out, but I was told to come and promote that we're going to be handing these out. They may be giving them out at the Touch-A Truck, but I'm not sure.
Tomorrow? Okay.
But this will be available for children.
Okay. If you go out tomorrow and you don't see them, call the library and just ask, and they'll be happy to tell you. We'll bring. If you really want to make sure you get one for your kids, a coloring book and everything. And I'm at, what's the subject matter? Because it
says
like
A is for artists. So it's just.
So it's all just promoting arts and.
Exactly.
Cool.
It's like an alphabet type book.
Oh, cool. So a little bit of grammar and a whole lot of creativity.
Yeah. And then also it has some Spanish in here too. So it's like.
It's a little bilingual.
Right, exactly.
Very cool. And then, of course, I know adult coloring is a thing. Maybe there's a few adults that want to get a book to color too. And
right.
Are adults allowed to use crayons, or is that considered just for kids? Because I know, like, the adult coloring is more colored pencils.
Exactly. I guess it's individual choice.
I want Crayola. I want the 64 jobber with the pencil sharpener or the crayon sharpener in the back. That's to me. That's the highest pinnacle of crayondom. Is a blank coloring book and the 64 pack with the pencil. You were living large in the coloring book world if that's what you had. So that's how. If I'm going to go back to it, that's how I want it. I want the nude crayons. I want the one that they had to invent names for to make colors.
And they had to peel it just to get to sharpen it. Yeah.
Just to get to the sharpener that you never use because you'd break off the thing in there or something.
Exactly.
But anyway. So, but yeah, come in and like I said, if you don't see them tomorrow at the event, then inquire maybe Sunday, Monday, and find out when they're gonna give them out, and then we'll make sure you get one.
And then for spring break, you're always talking about our family pass.
The family pass. This is officially what it looks like. Let me see what camera.
There we are.
This is the this pass is really cool. See, it's laminated, so when you spill your coffee on it, it won't destroy it.
Right.
But yes, this pass will get up to 6 people, I believe, to visit 15 different museums and historic sites around the state of New Mexico. Here's how this works. It's you check this out just like you would a library book or anything else at the library. You get it for 7 days.
Yes.
You cannot renew it.
No.
And basically, if you've got a trip out of town around the state, probably the day before you go on your trip, swing by the library and check it out. We can't reserve it. We can't.
Right.
It's first come, first serve. Good news is the library has a bevy of these passes.
Yes.
So unless we just have a run on people leaving town, we're probably got enough for you.
Yes.
But yeah, some of the places include the New Mexico Space History Museum in Alamogordo. So if you're going to Alamogordo, even if you're going for sports, baseball or something here, and you're like, we got hours to kill, let's grab a pass and go check out the museum while we're there.
Right.
If you're doing like trips for baseball or softball here with school. The National Hispanic Cultural Center in Albuquerque. Also in Albuquerque, the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science. In Cruces, the New Mexico Farm and Ranch and Heritage Museum. In Santa Fe, the Museum of Indian Arts and Culture. The Museum of International Folk Art. The New Mexico History Museum. The Palace of the Governors. You might have heard of that. And the New Mexico Museum of Art, all there in Santa Fe. Then around the state, they got the the Coronado Historic Site. Old eyes. letters start bending together. The El Camino Real Historical Trail Site, Fort Selden Historical Site, Fort Stanton Historical Site, which is a really cool place. Lincoln, you can actually do that together if you
right.
Also, Fort Sumner, where Billy the Kid is allegedly buried, yes. And of course the Jimenez Historic Site as well. All those you get in for free, up to 6 people. And I know for a fact, like if you do Lincoln, right. I think they charge about $10 a person just for Lincoln. You can do like $15 to get you Lincoln and Fort. Mm-hmm. But think that times 6, you'd be saving right there.
Right.
I mean, so you got 6 people going. That's $60 right there that you're saving, and this is good at all. So if you're doing like a road trip and you're going to hit Cruces, Albuquerque, Santa, and all within a 7-day period,
yes,
you could in theory hit all 15 and save hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, seeing all this cool stuff.
Yes.
The trick is you only get it for 7 days. So whatever your trip is, you need to make sure it's within 7 days and get it back. You cannot renew it over the phone. You can't do anything like that just because. Now, if you got weird circumstances and things, talk to the librarian and we'll see if we can work something out. But generally plan it if you a less than 7-day trip, and then you want to get it either the day of or the day before. You
get
on
a little
trip.
Grace period. So if it's like the day after or 2, it's
you're not gonna. If it's 8 days, you're not gonna send out the National Guard after them or nothing.
No, that's day 9.
That's day 9. Very good. But it is a cool pass, and it's really. I think a chance for you to see your state and see it in a way that's going to save you a bunch of money. I know what you're paying for gas and lodging and food on the way to these places.
Right.
Let's save you some money by actually getting to experience these cool areas of history and culture for free.
Exactly.
It's a great thing, and this is all. It's New Mexico Department of Tourism that put all this together, I believe.
Yes.
And so we're glad that they keep this program going, and hopefully they continue it for years here. We have no idea how much longer they're going to, but as long as they're doing it, take advantage of it.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
so
absolutely.
during spring break, if you're just going to drive to Ruidoso and you want to stop at, what is it, your favorite place, Lincoln?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Drive over there, get in free, and then continue on.
And I'm telling you, if you do have that kind of time, go ahead and do the double to Fort Stanton.
Right.
It is. I finally got to see that about a year ago. Mm-hmm. There are so many cool things at that fort, like because you can walk through and see the quarters and see that they got a museum. They got, of course, the cave out there. You don't get to go to the cave, but you get to learn about the cave. I think you could maybe talk to some people about making arrangements, but that's not part of the normal thing out there. And the history, because it covers Civil War history up past World War I, you know, and people like Blackjack Pershing were there at one point, you know. He's probably arguably the most famous general from the World War I era, and he spent some time there in Fort Sumner. And it's great because once you pay attention to all the Lincoln stuff and all of that, you see where Fort Stanton comes into play, not Fort Sumner. Fort Stanton comes into play on this stuff. And, you know, like the whole Lincoln County Wars and the Murphys, you know, they used to get their meat from Fort Stanton, like that. He was the Murphy gang. He was in the military. He was a quartermaster, I think, at Fort Stanton at some point. So when he became a civilian, he kind of took the meat, and so that's but that's all part of that history there that you don't realize until you go check these things out. So so go do it. Do yourself a favor. You'll like it. What else? Anything else we need to mention, or we covered it all?
We covered it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't forget to pick up your calendar at the library. We're now into March now, so get your March and April calendar.
Well, April's not exactly out yet, but it will be out soon, but March is available.
So grab your March calendar, put it up on the fridge if you like to go old school that way, or if you're more into technology. I highly recommend you like and follow the Roswell Public Library Facebook page or Instagram page.
No, we're not doing
just Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. And that way you can, whenever there's events like this coming up, they always shoot out a reminder the day before or the day of.
Exactly.
Saying, hey, don't forget, come out today and see the trash trucks and everything, or come out tomorrow and let's do some flamenco dancing. Yeah. And then, of course, if you go to the City of Roswell's government page, roswell-nm.gov, you'll find a link to the library tab right there, and there you can go. And all that stuff I was talking about earlier, as far as checking out periodicals or audiobooks or music or any of that kind of stuff, tutoring, you'll find all of that that link there. So, but none of it will work without a card in good standing. So
exactly.
You got to go to the library and get you a card first.
And it's free.
It is free of charge.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you have a card but haven't used it in like 10 years, probably need a new card.
Well, you just bring in your ID.
Okay.
And then we can see if it's still
See if it's on
still
file. Okay.
in the system, and then we.
But if you haven't been in there in years, you might want to make sure everything's updated and good.
Oh yeah.
Just because they do thin the herd after a little bit. There's only so much space on hard drives and things.
Exactly.
Good deal. Well, thank you very much as always.
Thank you.
We'll see you here next time.
Yes.
And come out, have some fun. Come.
Yeah.
There's so many events for you to get the kids involved, yourself involved. I know we talk about kids a lot, but adults, if you need to escape and just want a quiet place to read the newspaper, come to the library.
Right. We have the newspapers there.
It's all there for you.
Yes.
So. Good deal. Well, thank you, Tracy. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
All right. It is 9:56. Let us pause for Wall Street business update and a quick break before we go. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. The American hiring binge continued last month, with U.S. employers growing their payrolls by an impressive 311,000 jobs.
It's fewer than January's huge gain, but easily enough to keep pressure on the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates aggressively to fight inflation. The unemployment rate rose from 3.6% from a 53-year low of 3.4%. More Americans began searching for work, but not all found jobs.
Correspondent Jeremy House says last month's job gains came in hospitality and leisure, retail, healthcare, and government. The banking sector is in retreat, as it has been all week, as the effects of the Federal Reserve's fight against inflation begin to weigh heavily on a small number of banks that cater to the tech sector. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Need new windows for your home? Beware of the sales gangster. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing and Windows here. A sales gangster is a window salesperson with the mobster mentality. They intimidate, bully, and fast talk you into buying their less than quality windows during a 3-hour pitch. Think I'm kidding? Call a few window companies and see for yourself. Or you can skip the sales gangsters and call Trustmark. We have fair, no-nonsense pricing on our premium windows, and our appointments take only about 60 to 75 minutes. Just long enough to listen to what you need, show you your options, answer your questions, and give you a straightforward quote. Then it's up to you. We can take a no just as easy as a yes, but I'll guarantee you this: no sales gangsters. Sound fair? Call Trustmark Roofing and Windows for your no-obligation spring window assessment. 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
I read a quote once that said, "When you blame others, you give up your power to change." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
We all want to play the victim at times. It even feels good to feel sorry for ourselves. But that puts a lid on our life. It stunts our growth, it damages our marriages, and if you have children, it can even hurt them.
It can seem like a daunting task to take responsibility for our actions. But the Bible says in Philippians 4:13, we can do everything through Christ who gives us strength.
If you've never experienced the love of God, then you don't know your true potential and don't realize how good God is. When you're feeling like a victim, turn to God. He'll give you the strength to move beyond yourself and help you have a victorious marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio, KEND Roswell.
And that's going to do it for us for today's show. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of it. If you missed any part of the show, ksvptv.com. Have an amazing weekend. We'll talk to you bright and early Monday.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott.